Hi, welcome to another Mad Chats and Recaps with myself this week. Unfortunately, Tasha couldn't be here this week, but we'll cross our fingers for next week. So you just got me, Steph. So this is for recaps for the week of October the 10th through the 16th of 2022. And as always, we'll start with the Forsaken. Last Monday on the Forsaken, as most of the group waited to see if their mass suggestion plan had worked, Tegan went invisible once again and moved towards the back of the Grimoire auction house and into the room most of the guards had entered into. There, he saw the cloaked figure struggle with the guards, eventually losing in a grapple and thus losing the time device. Then, since the objective of those affected was to bring the device to Rhaenyra, the affected guards began passing the device off as they moved out of the room and closer to the group still waiting on the main floor. Juniper bridged the gap, however, and brought the device directly to Rhaenyra, allowing them all, except Tegan, of course, because he was still invisible in that back room, to bamf back to their room at the Pear Inn. Tegan stayed to pickpocket the stunned cloaked figure before heading back on his own. Back at the inn, the group discussed the events and what to do next. With Tegan lifting 50,000 gold back at the auction house off of the cloaked figure, amongst a few other things, including a library coin, one of those gold coins from the libraries that the group has encountered before. The group agreed to give 20,000 gold back to the auction house to pay for the item and split the rest, but with an added twist. Zavar then stealthily drops off the gold, staying long enough to see if their plan had worked, which is the twist that they added. And Morgana's surprised and frightened reaction when she pulls out the gold and a golden coin from the library. I think they also sent one of the those like red jewel sending stones that they gave them to use if they ever change their mind. I think they put all of that in there. I think and as well as a note that was signed to the library. So, and Mordana, who was the kind of, it seemed like the owner of the auction house, seemed very surprised and a bit frightened when she opened it up. So on Wednesdays, the Penumbra Assembly, the adventurers have a revealing and lengthy conversation with Kasula Amakir, Lady Lyra's mother, in her forest home. Let me activate this marker. Haha. So injured Giovanni helps her with her bandages just in time for her to brew some tea for the group. They find out that Kasula had been looking for another phoenix that day, which is when they found her in the woods and saw the phoenix, like even the day before. But Kasula had been looking for her friend, yet another, which was also a phoenix. It was her friend, and yet another one of Lord Callum's ex-wives, Narathana. Apparently, Narathana had also been banished to the forest, except in the sustained form of her favorite bird, a phoenix. And once Lord Callum caught Kasula visiting Narathana, he trapped them both in the forest, their energy and life weakening if they tried to escape back to the city. A music box sat by the window in this forest home that they were talking to Kasula in, that kind of kept drawing Kasula's attention, seemed to call to Kasula. And after some investigating and convincing, they find that not only there was a charming effect on this music box, which Draxlin recognized as looking eerily similar to the box that he saw back at the estate when he was talking to Lady Lyra. But that there was a charming effect on this box, but that it served as like a shared spell anchor. Destroyed after they destroyed the box. I think that they used something to kind of break possibly the bond between the box and Narathana, and Narathana destroyed the box with Joe's axe. But after they destroyed it, they realized that if they found the other, what other item was holding down the spell, which they kind of assume might be the spell that's keeping the animals transformed as well as Nirathana in the phoenix form, that they may be able to stop it. Leaving the woods with Kasula, they send a message to Quinn to let Satara know, which is Lady Lyra's kind of second hand, that they were out of the forest. After a short rest, Satara finds them, revealing that not only are the guards looking for them in droves, but that Lord Callum was back in the plane and planning a wedding for Lyra that would happen in one day. Heading back to the city, they're stopped by some guards and taken in to speak with Lord Callum at the estate at Lord Callum's request. They do know at this time that Lord Callum is an archfey, so definitely powerful. And also, they also notice, I didn't put in here, that they notice that the townsfolk, which they know that they're being paid off to like stay there, that the townsfolk also seem very resentful of them. So yep. So going into In Extremis, Saturdays in Extremis, fearing the worst, Zia and Brilith, because we had ended the week before that there was a huge explosion in the caves that they were trying to escape with the people that they rescued. Fearing the worst, Zia and Brilith head back to check on Sinister and the source of the explosion in the caves, as Grundy marches on with the rescuees. Brilith has trouble breathing and has to stay back, but Zia continues on, discovering a cave-in, and begins moving stone, eventually uncovering the disembodied leg of Sinister. With the other rocks too large to move on her own, and no body in sight, Zia heads back, leg in her bag, mentally preparing the others with their mental link on what was and wasn't found. As they continue through the caves, mostly avoiding groups of recently freed illithids, since they destroyed the Elder Brain, one group spots them and begins to advance. But just before reaching them, a form appears and knocks them the advancing illithids back, in the form of the goddess Shar and of Sinister. He's a mess with only one leg, but seemingly alive. As Brilith moves forward with the group, the others assist Sinister as they find their way back to the colony of the giants. There, everyone splits off to do their own things. Zia and Grundy find Vic's parents and find out that it was a curse that kept them from Vic all these years, a curse that Titania thankfully was able to disperse. Sinister was taken to the med ward, but immediately discharged themselves to preach the word of Shar to the colony and to offer apologies to people individually in the group for their actions. Liazana looked through the books that she picked up at the library in the caves, and Brilith found a tea shop where she quietly decompressed before introducing Sirik to the mayor and then finding Liazana. Liazana revealed her conflicted emotions about the Book of Horrors and the group, but begged to see it. Brilith and Zia deciding that it was her choice, despite the dangers of simply looking at the book, much less reading its contents, and gave the book to Liazana to review. A lot of stuff happened. So we didn't have, we haven't had Obsidian Scar for a bit, but let me just give you a recap of what happened in the last Obsidian Scar. Our heroes, deep in the crypts of Kalimvor, under his great temple in the Cassadothian Pass, worked quickly to navigate through its winding passages to find the relic Lashana required for the trade they bargained with her. After suspiciously easy escape with their bounty, they parted ways to prepare for their departure to Harassa. The next days were spent shopping, writing, searching for the mysteriously disappearing tieflings, having terrible nightmares filled with blood and undead, more shopping, and chocolate cake. Jules, after months of accumulating the necessary components and studying the ancient infernal texts with Linnet, finally cast the first spell from the Tome of Great and Terrible Powers. Almost costing him his life, he emerged from the ritual exhausted, an ever-growing halo of dark matter surrounding him, but with a mind so vast none in the Isles could dare rival him. Hoping to recover in the safety of the seaboard, the crew set out for a slow but safer course towards the home base in Harassa, only to be intercepted by an airship of the Aristilian Empire, seemingly in pursuit of Ileana. So, That's what happened the last time, and I am more than nervous for what happens the next time that we have that campaign rolling. Yeah, so no, let's see, we'll announce them again. We have our merch store. Check that out, please. And our website at madbirdstreams.com. You'll find links there to all of our stuff, as well as the merch store there. And also, the Penumbra assembly won't be happening this week. So, or didn't happen this week if you're seeing this after Wednesday. So the Penumbra Assembly will be back on Wednesday, the 26th of October, and we are quickly approaching the end to the season. This is a seasonal campaign, so we only run for like 4 to 6 months at a time, take a break, and then we start in with a new season. And the way that this is set up with a new bell jar, most likely, with a new demi-plane. So super excited. But yeah, we're probably like a couple of episodes out from the end of the series, the end of the season. I mean, season 1. I don't think that we have any birthdays. If you do have a birthday and we are missing it, I apologize, but happy birthday. Hopefully it's a decent week for you and a decent year. All right. Well, I will see you. I was going to say we will see you. I will see you, and I'm sure Tasha will see you in Twitch and Discord, and I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.
Hi, everybody. Gotta bring up this thing I keep forgetting to do the question I spent all that time on. Pleasure to see you all here. We are back with an Extremis, our Sky Pirate campaign. Oh, so much fun to be had. Well, thankfully, everyone managed to safely and in one piece overcome the Elder Brain and the Illithid camp and find their way out, saving the citizens, um, breaking a curse on Vic's parents that disallowed them to even be close to him or communicate. Vic being able to reunite with them and his biological sister. And gosh, it's been a whirlwind adventure. The books have been recovered. The third book of the Book of Enoch series turned out to be a book series, the classic trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Book of Horrors, as well as that runic book. Everything recovered. Ooh, it's been dicey, but here we are. So I'm going to drop us right into the city here. I think towards the end of last session, we had a sort of a tense moment where Liazana was really like not grumpy, but sort of like just so sucked into discovering what this book is about, how it pertains to her dad being part of the Order of Spectres and having traveled for nearly a century on her own before meeting the group for answers, now having this book that's supposed to lead to those, almost with an obsession. Um, and we had the crew sorted out a little bit. Like, okay, Brila stayed behind, and Liazana shared that sentiment. And there was tea being had, I believe, in an outdoor patio. And I think that we'll just sort of, I don't really recall exactly where I'm so sorry. So I'll just sort of pick up there. I think it was Grundy and Sinis there at least, are having tea, if they're still out there.
We all carried on, didn't we,
Oh,
to
okay.
where the town bought our food and we're all just like at a
Yes.
pub like area.
Right. Thank you.
Mm.
Yes, everyone's
Yeah.
the town is celebrating your victory, and Summer, they're tasking Cyric with some stuff. Like, yeah, you can stay here and watch a book, but you got to help us sort out whatever's going on down there. Like, find out who still wants to get us and who doesn't, and help us coordinate and things like that. But that's, that talk is brushed off because it's celebration night. There's cheers, there's toasts, and so I think that maybe what we'll do is we'll just kind of advance. If any of you have anything you want to do during that celebration, let me know. Otherwise, we'll kind of pick up after everyone gets a nice long rest. So mark yourselves off as a long rest, for sure. And yeah, I think I might just start the morning with Yazan, or at breakfast time. I imagine you all together for breakfast. And bring over a little tray of food and sit down. Morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
That was I'm glad we were all here this morning. That was a little intense.
It's fine. You can always make it through it together.
Yeah.
Sinister just kind of looks down at the ground like
Nice. Well, about that. I've been doing some thinking over the night, and I mean, I was sharing with Breelith yesterday. I don't know that I've shared with everyone just how long I've been looking for answers for the order. Instinctively kind of looks both ways. for the order. It's been around a century or so. Just doing it solo. It's been really nice joining up with you all and remembering what it's like to have a family. I think I have some answers here, and the people here know best how to help me find them without going mad. I can feel it tickle a little in my head there, just kind of holding the book. So I can't be deterred from what I need to do by going mad. I want you to know it pains me a bit to say this, but I've got to stay here. A few bites and kind of watches everybody.
I mean,
Well,
for like months or a week?
They're telling me it's probably going to be a fair bit longer than that.
but who will be our captain, Mike? You're the
Yeah.
captain. You pull the
You're the
lever.
captain.
I am. You know, I'm sure one of you will make a fine captain. Or if none of you want that, I'm sure you'll find someone to, take my spot up. Until I find answers, and then I'll see where everyone's at with things. I don't know that I was really any good at being a captain.
No nonsense.
You're very good at being a captain.
You're the
Yeah.
best captain.
You all make me look good. It's you all mean a lot to me. I hope you know that. I don't want you to think I'm just dropping you all. It's been a very long time, and there's a lot of very important questions that have answers in the book. But we've got our messaging. I guess we can maybe test and see how far it reaches. A small win. She's looking at everyone, but doing a few extra takes at Breelith. But yeah, I guess that's it.
I don't think I quite understand. You have to stay behind?
Yeah, just holding this book kind of scratches at my brain. I can feel, I, they said when people read it, they can go mad. You got to do it in small little portions, and I can't let myself go mad. I can't. I've got to get these people in a stare.
I understand. We were going to write your revengeance song.
Yeah. This'll just be a long refrain. And then we'll get into the next verse.
Oh, that's lovely. But do you have to read that crazy book?
I mean, I've got to start. That contact said this answers are in here with why my dad would be a part of the Spectres and like what their real first goal was, and might help me understand like how it became what it is today. If it doesn't, I'll be calling you up. If I start reading this and it's just a shot grocery list, I'll be calling you right away. But as long as it's giving me answers. I had to put myself at a disadvantage, and by signing that contract where I can't hurt anyone. So I really had to be armed with knowledge.
Hey, you can't, but we can.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
Like, we'll be extensions. Unless that also
I don't think it
Because it's a
applies
curse.
to
In
us.
which case, I'm really bad at curses. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It doesn't apply to us. I
yeah.
hand out plenty of curses, a lot. I do.
Good, good. Well, I will
You look
definitely.
kind of like concerned a little bit. To understand,
Nice.
just like, okay, moving on. Um,
Well,
and
that's
Zia will
good.
kind of look briefly at Brilith, kind of trying to see if it's like maybe a good idea to kind of leave Brilith and Liazana for
Hmm.
just a minute.
Lisanna might catch it. She usually rolls pretty high in perception, and just I'm Breatheth. I was hoping, to want to share the news with everyone, but of course, I very much want to have just one on one with you. If unless I know you might be mad. I get it. Maybe you don't want to talk to me, but I get that. You do. I'd like to share and hear your feelings too. And
Um, yeah, no, that's fine. We can do that.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, we can go, back to where we were
Oh,
staying.
you can stay here. I forgot to
Oh,
tighten up the room, like, make sure the bed was made. So and I think Vic was gonna meet with his parents for lunch later, so I
oh,
can totally stay here and see. We'll just scuttle out.
nice,
I
nice.
totally lost a leg earlier and I'm feeling kind of tired. So I'm going to go sit over there.
Right. She instantly regrets saying everyone made it out in one piece. Yeah. Like, oh, right. Sinister does it. Yes. That's amazing.
I'm gonna go
Oh.
and see if there's anything in the
Hmm.
library about how to fix that. That.
Yeah, please help me.
Hmm. So, till later,
Okay.
Captain.
Ashvar's like, yeah, and just kind of picks up her shirt and walks away.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and she'll scooch over and breathe. I'm actually gonna, like advance past this. I'm gonna leave this in case you want to connect with Trisha and role play that out. Because I would hate to
Okay.
step on toes for that. You
Okay.
know. So, perhaps a conversation goes on. I'll let the two of you sort out. So for viewers, Liazana is actually going to be Trisha has to leave for the time being, with some real life stuff just in conflict with this train, time and schedule and all. So yeah, and we'll miss her. And if things change, then she'll be back. Yeah. So Brelith, sorry, I know like how that conversation goes is gonna dictate like a little bit of how you feel after the conversation. So I'm very sorry that I don't have that answer for you, but I'll let you
Sure.
you know, connect. And so some time goes by, we'll say it gets a little closer to lunchtime. Um Yeah. So pressing things are, Vic is going to finish up like having a nice day with his family, gets sending stone. They go to the store, like the stone store, like it's an Apple store, but for stone technology. And they pick out the latest model and they've got a sending stone to each other. The mayor thanks you again. And the mayor gives you loot. Oh
Yes.
yeah. In fact, I had this set up to roll on stream, so let's see. So it's a monetary reward. They don't, have much otherwise. Right, and they don't know that you have the Book of Enoch. Titania has since shared, that with. In case you want to roleplay, I'll put a pin in Titania sharing that for now. If all of you have sort of met up, outside to give Breelith space, and you want to meet back up in or where you're all staying, I'll say that as everyone's sort of sitting around, sort of partially packing up, like, well, what do we want to do next? Titania will probably be like, oh, right. So, this is still a bit awkward. I do have, and she'll take out the wooden box and pull it open. Of course, the book of Enoch, this third. Um, uh, oh, looks at
Um,
Zia.
Zia will probably like hold out like her hand to kind of try to grab it. Like,
Oh.
I'm just like immediately thinking of the I
Mm.
forget the monkey's name in Aladdin, where like
Abu.
throwing out,
Abu.
yeah, when Abu's trying to grab the like in the
Oh, yeah.
Arcade of Wonders.
Mm.
Before kind of pulling herself back
Mm-hmm.
and not really being 100% aware of why she's pulling herself back,
Mm.
but being
Can,
like,
can you make
probably,
a wisdom saving throw while you do that, if you don't mind?
ooh, I love it, Dan. I love it. Okay. Um, I have 14.
Okay. This is actually fun. The DC gets more difficult over time, but that succeeds for now.
Okay.
You do feel what you experience in that moment is a little bit, if you can roll a d4, because you take a little tiny bit of psychic damage. You feel a sharp pain run through your brain. Whatever you get is your psychic damage. Oh,
Or,
okay. It's a sharp pain. Yeah, it's right like
yeah.
from behind the eye backward into the brain. Oh, and you get a quick flash of all of that energy. Like, to you, you don't see the energy flowing off yourself. You just see it up in your face, like when you had that giant the energy from your spiritual form kind of thing. So you just see like, you hear this single sound of a dagger hitting that shield. It rings in your ear for a minute. You're a little bit blinded with the flash of that celestial energy, and then it, oh, weird.
Yeah. Um, and she'll like try to kind of shake it off a bit and just be like, kind of within herself, and just be like, I never thought that we would actually get to see one of these. Like, we've been searching for, I've been searching for a very long time. A very, very long time.
Oh, yeah. Fruits of your labor have paid off. It's I can't stand here and say it's worth the sacrifice, and kind of like looks over at Sinister and down a little bit. But I know how dangerous this is, and think this is the right choice here.
Mhm.
Um, so she'll close it back up. I'll any of you wish to hold on to this? I have a bag of holding. So I know the town asked for their books back, but I think this one maybe is a little too important. They have the others. What are your thoughts?
So my sister has the other two, and I have no doubt that she would destroy this place
Jolene,
to find it.
you
And
see
so
memories in her face now, like,
I think, and she'll kind of turn to Breelith. I I think maybe this is a job for an archaeologist.
Liv seems the best suited for it.
Sure. I can hold the book.
Yeah.
here's was there a key? I guess there wasn't. Never mind. I guess she just popped it open. She had it.
Yeah, she did.
She's 0 to 60. Nice. And she'll pass the box over to you. There's a weight to it, both physically and just consequentially, and you're holding a book, a part of a book series that could rewrite history
Yeah.
or unravel it entirely.
Oh, okay. She'll put it into her bag and just, as gently as possible,
Mm.
and give it like a pat. Okay.
Um, you all get a mental message from Sirik.
Oh.
It just slips in your mind, all
It
slithery
probably
like.
feels cold and
Mm-hmm. And then slithers in, yeah. And he's just going to thank you all. We are sorting out matters below with other illithid to leave the island. Some mingle. I have been restored to the place where I belong, my book. I wish to share with you that I have deciphered thus far. And he'll start to share. So some of this you already know. It's stuff that the town already deciphered and told you. He talks about the title loosely translates to Tildari, the first of the sky. Which is that some Tildari reside here. They're said to be the first ones that are responsible for breaking these sections off of the planet and making them float when the Omega Sea flooded. And he's also going to share, which again I can't recall if you know or not. Many of my studies revolve around. He did tell you the world's end. And he talks about that shrine he had that's the tree, and how it somehow relates to both the beginning and the end of all things related to the Omega Sea and the Omega Curtains. As I study and learn more, I will share. If no one responds, you'll just feel them slither back out of your minds. Vic's gonna return and thank everybody. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. He can talk to his folks and his sister. He's gonna stay connected, get caught up, but is eager to get back on things. Actually, he's probably here. He's gonna make a little bit of a request. He'll kind of come in the room at this point. Oh, everyone's here. Excellent. I just want to wish to thank you all again. I really appreciate that you've all, with so many important things, took the time to help my family and my people here. And me breaking the curse is. He chokes up a little. But there's reconnecting with folks here and my parents and everyone. There's much to catch up on, but I think I don't even know if Sarek slid in your minds as it did mine just now, but it kind of like bends his neck, quick.
I'll never get used to that.
Hey, it's just like whoa,
It's just like, oh, just right
spray of
down the
cold
back,
water, oof,
right down the back. Yeah.
hey, oh, but really, myself wish to know more about the Bildari and my heritage to that. Apparently, I could be have that in my bloodline, as my mother's mother had it, and her. So through my mother, um, I guess there's ways to see if you can manifest it, but apparently no one's been to this Tildari homeland. They send people out, the archivists, they study here, they work, and then when they retire and the new one's hired, the old one gets to go out on exploration. And I don't even want to put this ahead of the line, of course, and you've already done so much, so I understand if not, but if we ever have the time and the space, I mean, we're out there exploring, right? Maybe we could just keep an eye out, see if it's apparently a massive island, bigger than any other out here, so I'd like to do a little research when we stop at places and maybe see if we can find some answers with that, if you'd be willing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Eh?
I'm really glad that you're coming with us. And she'll kind of give him like a little punch.
Oh, you see him like water welling up in his eyes, of course. With a goofy smile. Hey, all right. Well, so what's next for us? Should I prepare the ship, or is there anything else here for us?
Well, we've got to go see if Boots has been taking care of the scarabs.
Hey,
Guardian smelled something and has not been seen since.
Oh,
So that might be something we want to do. And of course, there's the matter now. Liazana has decided to stay behind. And she'll kind of whisper that a little bit, hopefully, so just not to remind Breelith again. Um, and then say, well, we need to decide upon a new captain. Not necessarily right now, but soon. Not that anybody could ever replace Liazana.
Hey. Titanium will just offer that reminder to like and not at on your
Oh,
sooner rather than later, but not to disrupt any of your plans. If you don't mind, I really want to find some answers about Arrakis. I think I can find them in Atmos in the religious ward. But again,
Sinister hasn't said anything. He's just been looking at Titania the whole time. Not even saying a word, just kind of just looking. Like, okay. Like he doesn't want to say
oh,
anything.
yeah. Oh, she but then, of course, I'd like to reconnect. I yes, I want to take care of that and another item or two. But then I really do wish to come back. She'll give a little extra nod to Sinister.
You could talk to me anytime, Titania.
Oh, yes. Good. We'll share tales of one another whilst away. Yes.
Right. And he just kind of looks and you just see him just kind of, just like, all right, this is it. This is the path I've chosen.
Nice. And Sinister, you have gotten because I did a roll with this as well on top of the one that you did with the mayor. They're setting planning to start a small place of worship for Shar here. A lot of the people
Oh,
freed are like, it's Shar. Yeah, Shar sent Sinister and his group, and
spread
we're
the tail
freed.
far and wide.
Mm-hmm. So that is counting in the background with a separate section of my notes is counting towards your progress with Shar. So it's a good
Yes.
chunk at the beginning.
All right, good.
Consider it a big success.
Only cost me a leg.
yeah, worth it. Oh. Okay, all right. So any what would you all like to do from here? Do you want to anything else in the city before checking on Boots?
so,
No.
and, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I just said no.
Okay.
Oh. I do think before they get back to the surface, or maybe later, that Zia would bring up, like, hey, um, not to bring up, uh, the rock incident, um,
Oh,
but if we are going to be going back through the desert, um, I think it would be a good idea to have um, a new captain um, decided beforehand potentially. And I mean, we don't have to. We definitely don't have to. But I was thinking, and she'll turn to Grundy and be like, I know Grundy's a little new, um, but he really made some last minute decisions in that battle that were extremely, extremely important. Um, so, but we don't have to if we don't want to now.
Grundy did know how to go through the eye of the storm to avoid catastrophe to the ship that one time. So just putting that out there.
Breathless have any feedback?
If anyone would ask her, she would just, yeah, sounds good.
Honestly, I don't think we need a captain, to be honest. We kind of made our own decisions together anyway. Anytime Liazana had a question, we go into the captain's quarters and discuss it.
Mm.
So it was like it was already group consensus from the start.
Mm. Hey,
Well,
Kashvar. Okay.
may I suggest then maybe a co-captaincy where we all pitch in and make the decisions together? It would also help a lot in terms of mixed signals, that sort of thing.
And it'll cut down on moles because I think we forgot there's a mole on the ship. I'm always paranoid. Even after life after death, I'm still a little paranoid.
Nice.
Not
Oh
that
my gosh,
one thing
I almost
has to
forgot
do with
about
the
that.
other.
Dun, dun, dun.
Not that one thing has to do with the other, but has anyone seen Guardian?
Oh, right.
What?
Poor Guardian.
Oh
That's
my
right.
gosh.
If we're gonna be doing things, I could go look for him.
Let's go look together.
You pause. You turn back down the tunnel to come back into the city to find poor Guardian. I will say that Ashvar is going to, because she's like crafty with like deceiving people and stuff like that. She's gonna add. So I agree. I think we should all make decisions together because that works best. But I'm also okay with Grundy or whomever just having a person have the title, because if we get stopped by people and they ask who's the captain and we point at each other, it might give them cause for concern. Like we have somewhere like, yo, yeah, talk to them. Like we can all talk up here anyway and figure out what we're doing. And there's a lot of places you dock and other things they need to know, like who's your captain. I mean, how many times has someone asked like who's captain and we had to point to Liazana? So whether it's Grundy or someone else, I'm fine if just someone has the title. Like we're all actually captain, but we toss that title to someone so we can like point at them.
Well, I'm kind of already a rock star legend, cult leader a little bit. So adding captain to that's just one more title. I don't need it. I really don't. But if you bestow it on me, I'll take it.
I know I don't want Ashfire because I mean I can ask Sarah, but I'm almost positive Ashfire does not want captaincy. Yeah, I don't want it, and whether it's one of us or any of the crew, it doesn't matter to me. I think everyone's had their chance. Like Zia does a really good job too. Like in that same rock fight, Zia did a bunch. Yeah, Zia,
Zia does delegate pretty well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think she's a leader type, and she's definitely picking up on, Breeless energy and like
Mm.
and Titania's as well, and it's like not entirely sure why everybody's so distant, but it's just like very
Oh.
knowing it's her. And
Oh.
she's just like, yeah, the last thing she wants is like leadership.
I mean, there's also, if in case, I mean, for options, right? Breedless come in clutch sometimes. There's Grundy that really again got us out of that storm. There's also Vic, and he like runs half the crew anyway. There's Charles. He used to be, I think, a sailor or a pirate or something before he died.
That's Charles, true.
I don't think Boots would. He looks around. Yeah, Boots is here.
Eden either.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, no, they'd be the most silent captain ever. And I don't want to get in trouble with Eden any more than I do already. Uh, Guardian, no, we'd be racing into every battle. So, Breelith, Grundy, Vic, or Charles are probably like, well, I guess we can't really point to Charles and be like, that's our captain. So I guess like Breelith, Grundy, or Vic would be my proposals. But I don't care.
Procedurally,
They're all good
procedurally,
choices.
Breelith is the best choice, but I feel that if we want to keep Breelith free from that constraint, where we can actually do stuff and someone can take charge of the crew, I would suggest Vic as the de facto captain, at least for the crew on the ship. That would make sense, because then all the rest of us can do our thing and not have to constantly worry, because Vic has shown himself to be very capable, at least as far as I've known him.
Any of those choices included, Breelith, you, Grundy, and Vic. Whichever you decide, I'll vouch, because those are all solid choices. I'd be honored for any one of them to be our fake captain.
Let's spend the night on it. We'll think. Oh, sorry, Brent, go ahead.
I think we should ask Vic if he wants that. But
I'm gonna say he's
I
off
agree.
Guardian.
I would rather it be Vic.
Oh. Okay. All in favor of Vic being our fake captain, say aye. Aye.
Well, luckily I picked up some of
Maybe he
the
wants
kitchen
it.
skills from Vic, so I can now take over some of the kitchen duties. They won't be as good, but I will do my best.
Who says the captain can't be in the kitchen? But if Vic wants it, he can have it.
Neat. He'll come back around in a bit just to give me the little surprise. Surprise! Okay.
Now, you were talking about loot.
Yes. The mayor gave you 280 platinum pieces.
Wow.
To split among yourselves. So that's 2,280. Yeah, gold pieces if you want to break it up that way.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, Zia would stay off of it, so if you want to split it 3 ways, that's totally fine. Also, Zia has a decent amount of money at this point, so
everybody gets their pay and share.
There's also 2 diamonds worth 300 gold pieces.
2 diamonds?
Because they know that they're common for like resurrection things. They're important spell components for things, so they give you 2 that are worth at least 300. They're around 350 a piece.
I know Breelith could use those.
I don't know how to resurrect anymore.
Right. Wait, I think maybe Ashenheart. I'll take a look, but you've got them if anyone wants to mark it off.
How many ways are we splitting the 280 platinum, which is what, 2,800 gold, right?
Yes, 2,280 gold.
2,280 gold.
Yes, 220.
How many ways are we splitting that? Just so I know how much to add into.
So that would be 760 for Sinister, Breelith, and Grundy.
What about Ashbar?
Oh, that's fair. Hold on, I'll do it by 4.
So divided by 4. Be
570.
570.
Mhm.
570.
Sorry.
Okay, she no longer just has 2 silver.
Oh my God, you
Yay!
were really those pillows. Those pillows were
Yeah, those
expensive.
pillows and
Yeah.
blankets were ridiculous.
Oh my God. Oh, we didn't bring them. Oh no. Oh, it's
They're
gonna
on
be
the boat. They're on the boat.
yeah, but you couldn't bring them for Liazana to have.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh.
Besides, they were, yeah, no. Mhm.
We
Um,
can fox it to her.
Sinister had that sweet bakery money.
Nice. Awesome. So it doesn't take you too long to find Guardian, who does indeed, come out from somewhere deep, deep down. They're like climbed halfway down the ravine, like below the city. They're like, I found it, covered in dirt and stuff. They climb up over the ledge as you're looking around. What? Ha! I found something. I
What?
believe, yes. I believe Illithid are behind this. The network of caves down here. Trace it back. It's evaporate. I can't wait. Charity.
Kind of just look at each of the party.
I look down at my leg and
I'm gonna
Oh.
tell him.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
ahead.
you go ahead.
Nope.
I don't really know.
Mm.
What you found isn't that special. I'm sorry, was that
Illithid
too
are
harsh?
very rare and
I
strong.
No, we actually have already been there. We went through some tunnels, walked past a few Illithid because they were scared of us. I'm kidding. Sorry, my humor is a little broken. We helped one. They showed us the library. We defeated an elder brain.
Oh.
And we got back up here. We freed some prisoners.
Guardian drops to her
That's
knees, like,
Oh dear.
no! This, like
I
very
can't
cinematically.
I can't handle this emotion right now. I'm just gonna y'all can I can handle this.
Grundy will just kind of pat. It's okay. There'll be many more along the way.
An elder brain. Yes, it takes a little coaxing.
It wasn't that special. Don't worry. You didn't miss anything.
Oh.
We did make an illicit friend though.
Oh. They listen and they're a little dejected, but they'll follow you back to the ship as you head out. Vic says his goodbyes, and he'll return and as you propose the captainhood. Sure, me. I can perform the task. Oh, and he gets like that it's for everybody. Like, still, it's quite an honor. I'll be happy to accept.
Good. I'm glad.
Excellent. Anybody that can manage a kitchen as well as you can definitely manage a ship.
There's truth in that. As you all kind of walk through the tunnel, that long winding tunnel of cave up to the circular staircase inside the cave wall that goes up to that hatch, pops open. You step through and it goes from the coolness of that cave to it's a little bit warmer and a little more high and arid as you step into that cylindrical thing. But certainly when you pop the hatch and you get up on the surface, you're immediately reminded of the harsh wind and sand that pelts your skin. As one by one you file out. You do see the scarabs seem to be, uh, Boots is on one of them, just sort of like walking, like, whee! Like kind of racing him around a little, the empty town. But the other one's like latched up to the thing, and they look well taken care of. And Boots sees you all was over, like riding the scarab itself. Like,
Wait, this whole time you can ride him?
yeah, like, yeah, I didn't realize, but I had plenty of time on my hands. So you guys are down there doing all this, whatever. went terribly, it looks like, and kind of gestures to you. So are you all right?
Oh, don't worry about that. It's just flesh. But
It looks really cool. Sinister. That
thank
look
you.
like I got a little shiver. Like, ooh, yeah, ooh.
Adds another layer to my music. Trust me.
Oh.
But you tame scarabs. Can we take them back to the ship? Is like
They're probably expecting them back.
oh.
But we can probably get something. I know people. You want some giant
Mm,
scabs? I get you giant scabs.
okay. Are they
Not a
are
problem.
they specialty? Like we could sell them
Oh yeah.
for a higher. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
work on that. Work
E-
on that.
Exotic is the term.
Exotic
Yeah.
pet scarabs.
There you
Who
go.
even has those in Atmos?
My guy, that too. Yeah. And us.
What? All right.
All right.
You really, and like Z will kind of pipe up. I have heard like there was a book a while back that I came across about how they well they usually like they're used to like pushing wagons because they usually push like big balls of and so they need those to survive, and
It's
Tell
amazing.
me more,
don't know
Is
how
please.
the
that?
ship would smell.
Oh, right.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. We had something similar down in the Underdark.
That's so.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds like a tough living. Pushing shit around all day, but yeah, no,
I
I
could
guess I
think
don't want
of
the ship.
worse.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, all right. Well, these things, they got water to get back and such, but we got to get ourselves out of here. You're ready to go. I'm ready. It's air. It's like look at my fur. Forget it. Forget about it.
It's doing wonders for me. It's wreaking havoc on my hair. I'm ready to get back myself.
Yeah. Where's the captain?
Oh, uh, he just goes, like,
I
I don't want to talk about it.
I kind of Will Smith at Vic.
Just kidding. Oh, did she died?
No.
Oh.
She
Oh.
has
Ah.
things that she needs to take care of before she rejoins us.
Oh.
So in the interim, we've decided Vic would be ideal
All right.
and
Whew.
well suited, I might
Oh,
add.
sure. Yeah, Vic's great at that stuff. He's always taking care of that. This over here, that over there. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Okay. Right, new captain. Hopefully Zana finds whatever she's looking for down there in the nice, cool, and not sandy area. All right, I'm gonna get the other scarab and hatch him back up. Oh, we going back the same way that y'all were talking about a giant bird boyd or something?
Maybe we'll skirt around. What do you guys think? I think we should skirt around that area. Give it a wide berth.
Yeah, I
I've
think.
already died. I'm ready to not do that again.
Oh,
It was really-
Sinister, I gotta hear that story. So when we get back, you gotta tell me all about it.
It's the
Oh,
coolest story you ever heard in your whole
I
entire damn life.
well, I mean, yeah, it's gotta be. Listen, I think I can make these things go a little faster, so we might not have to worry about any giant birds swooping out on us. I've had a good couple of days here with these things, and we got plenty of water. We got the extra because we weren't here for 4 or 5 days, so we got some extra water. You feed them extra water, they got a lot more juice to them than they had on the way over. I think I can, just to avoid any dangers like that. I don't want birds attacking cats. That's unnatural.
Without to mention the bird, he's like flinching. Like,
Vic,
Hey,
I'm guessing since Liaison is not here, you'll be, what is the right word? Can't be piloting. You'll be guiding the other scarab in her place.
sure, I can do that. Hey,
I'll get back on ours and
It gets
you
all
know,
set up. Boots brings it round. You guys,
Grund-
yeah. Sorry, good.
Grundy's down to a tank top. Sorry, because it's hot.
Nice. That's awesome. I just think back to that picture you shared. Like, I used to inspo. Like, oh my gosh.
And what a
Woo!
tall drink of tall glass of water
Oh yeah.
and drip there for
Mhm.
sure.
Anyway, uh, off you all head back across the island of McCullumstead, or Musalmani, as it's known. And yeah, I'm just gonna make a couple of rolls to see if anything comes up here. We've got 2 portions of this. So first half, it's hot, but you've done this now. You know what to kind of expect time frame wise, and you're making good time. There's a few landmarks, certain shaped rock formations that are like, that looks like boobs, and it's like, oh wow, we're already here. Great, that's we're making good time. And oh, nice. Okay, completely uneventful.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Of course, the intensity of waiting for that wing flap sound. Especially as you go through or near-ish, because you kind of veer off in the other direction a little from where the rock came, from the direction from which the rock came. Very intense tracking, but that hour goes by as you pass through that whole area. People keeping an eye out. Oh, right. Lisanna's not here for Pass Without Trace.
Nope.
So, but you slow the carts down and you go extra kind of like cautiously through there and pick the speed up after, and you're safe. You make it back to the rundown port town of Devil's Ledge. You return back to the person that was, oh gosh, do I have this in here handy? The person that assisted you initially is here, and you find them. Here we go. Devil's Ledge. Here we go. Yes, Jasmine Dark Draft. Okay. I forget her accent. I didn't write it down. I usually write it down. We'll just make her a little southern. Yeah?
Old lady, I think, wasn't it?
Just an old lady. Okay. Way to go, Dan. You put a lot of thought into that one.
Such a memorable character.
Yeah. I'm old. That's my personality. She comes out as you're bringing the cart, because they're pretty loud. Oh, welcome back, everyone. You've made it. Excellent. Almost all of you made it, and sees Porcinus there.
I'm just smiling the whole time, like I'm having the time of my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Good. The Guardian leaps down, kind of crumps off over to the ship. Well, I trust you found what you were looking for. Good. Yeah, very well. Some people from your ship came over, checked in earlier this morning just to see if I heard word. I told them it was a little too soon to start worrying, and they seemed a little concerned. But, well, everything seems in order here. Yep, and checks, the carts and everything else. Very well. I wish you the best in all your travels.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
May Shar be with you. Put your faith in Shar, you will go far.
Thank you.
And I give her another flask of tea that I picked up from that little place.
Nice. Oh, thank you.
You were very kind. Thank you.
To you. All right, so you make it back at last to your ship. The Tempest has rarely looked so good as when you're done with this desert and you've made it back to port. You almost got eaten by a rock. crushed by rocks. Rocks are not your things in a stair in particular, but like everyone's been almost eaten by a rock. Elder brain issues, all of this. And you just think back to a few days ago when you stepped foot here, probably not expecting any of that. Like, just crazy what life can throw at you. Would you return? Please, what you
I
got?
would see Brelith before you step on the ship, just kind of before she steps on the ship, just kind of stop and look at the ship for like a good, probably like 15 minutes before going on board.
What is she looking at? Sorry.
She's just looking at the ship before getting on board for
Oh,
like a good 15 minutes
okay.
before getting on board.
I think near the end, if you're okay with it, like as you're at the very end of that, so you've had your time to kind of like Ashavar might come over. I think Ashavar's good for these kind of moments. And just it's funny, something so familiar can be so different looking up at you.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's one way to put it.
yeah. A lot of these things, can't say I know what you're feeling or what you're going through, but if you're ever in a place you need or want to talk about it, you know where to find me. I'm around. I would kind of like to, I think it'd be nice for us to catch up sometime.
Brelith will turn to Ashabar with very probably sad, heavy eyes. And thank you, Ashbar. And go on board.
Ashvar, I'll join you. All right, now that you're all on the ship, is there anything any of you would like to do here before, like, letting, oh my gosh, it's been so long. Kip, no. Kip? No, I'm thinking of freaking Futurama. Is it Kip?
It is
Did I
Kip.
name our
Yep.
character, our navigator, Kip?
Yes.
You
Okay.
did?
The
The
You did?
turtle,
the turtle,
right?
yeah.
Yep. That
Is Kip.
green character, yeah. Jeez, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there like a children's book series like where there were like anthropomorphic turtles?
Oh, Franklin.
Oh, that was Franklin. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That would have
That
been
would have been
okay.
another good on the nose name.
Yeah.
Maybe Kip's family. We explore that at some point.
Yeah.
In the future, not next, but yeah.
Franklin. Yep.
Franklin and Friends. Or
Just the
what-
show Franklin.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. Literally, like, I'll look up some episodes and Dan, I'll send you some of the ones that I think would be best.
Please.
You're gonna hate me by the end of this, Dan.
No, not possible. That's so funny.
Oh
That's
my
awesome.
god. His mom's name is Harriet. I love
Perfect.
it.
Wow.
So cute.
Send me
Okay,
Claire's
all the
loving it right
things.
now.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. No, it's great.
Brelith would go and see if she can find Carmine.
Oh, yeah. Carmine is, it's only been a few days. Carmine looks, in even better health. I think I sent you an image of what Carmine is going to look like. So you can see, the extra sprouts of the other little horns forming. The 4 wings instead of 2. And those have grown a little more, the 3rd and 4th wing. And yeah, Carmine's looking much better.
Okay, good. So just
Pretty
check
excited.
in, just give a wave,
Mhm.
see how he's feeling. If they seem like they're wanting to be, still alone, just kind of wave and leave. But yeah.
Actually, let me just check my timetable quickly for Carmine.
Carmine eats Brelith.
Nice. Oh no. Where are we?
We don't need any more twists.
Hell
Okay.
yeah, we do.
All of the things. oops, no, that's what I wanted.
Where's the Book of Enoch? Now inside Carmine.
Oh
Oh
shit,
my god,
man.
it possesses Carmine, and then Carmine gets like 100
Yeah.
wings and
Mm-hmm.
1,000 heads.
Oh, yep,
Mm-hmm.
there it is.
And then the mole was Carmine all
Hey Dan, I'm
along.
giving you too many ideas and bad ideas.
I love it. Oh, okay, yeah, no, Carmine's there. Okay. Um, so you start getting some of those thoughts, Breelith. You know, so far Carmine has used like thoughts and feelings pushed into your mind. But it's just a quick, like a gentle breeze of that before in your head. Carmine says, "Oh, welcome. Bit lonely."
Good to see you again, Carmine.
And that's all. Settles for him. It's comfy.
She'll leave them alone and go back, wherever. Just go on the deck or whatever.
And just to clarify, you hear that in common, not thoughts.
I think oh, he spoke
He
out
spoke to
loud
you
or oh, okay.
telepathically, but in common this time instead of thoughts
So
and feelings.
Breelith would like exit and then like peek back in and just like and then just like shrug and then just leave. Oh, she probably do you need anything? Are you okay? Food?
Yeah, if you look back in, he'll give you like a silly wink, like he's getting a little personality.
Sure.
No. Eden has been taking exquisite care of me. Thank you, though. No company's enough, Breelith.
Thank you, Carmine.
Yes, I looks around a little bit. Some more pillows, maybe.
I'll get you some more pillows. She'll go and get them out of the plethora of pillows that she has that she ordered.
The pillows.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
She's like, I got a stock, and she just like goes to an extra room. I think that she put all that stuff in. And it's just filled with blankets and pillows that she never used.
You cleared
and
the
would
beds out and everything. Yeah.
Just start taking it and taking it back because, and probably no one will be able to see this, but Paul's in the door just for flavor when she goes into that room because her original idea was to turn that into kind of like a little hideaway for her and Liazana. But she'll quickly pick up a couple pillows and like close the door really quick and take the pillows to Carmine.
Right, they'll get extra comfy. All right. Anyone else have anything they want to do on the ship before sorting out where to go?
I'm gonna go find Tatiana.
Ooh, okay. Yep. She's going through a few things in her room currently. Unpacking some stuff and good, Sinister.
Well, thank you. I figure that we both are being guided by different missions that are important, and this will probably be our last few days together. That maybe we can grab a bite to eat before we go.
If you're up for making it a picnic again.
Yes. You know, you can tell he was like, let's go.
Yes. Perfect. I'm going to unpack some things, and it's at dinner time, say? Well, I suppose it's about dinner. In an hour? Gives you some time to...
Yeah, that's fine. That sounds perfect. And then he just goes. Like,
nice.
You like, I'm not gonna make this any more awkward than it is.
Awesome. Okay. All right.
Grundy feels absolutely disgusted because of the sun, the blood, the lizard stuff, everything. He is going to soak in one of the huge tubs we have.
Nice. Oh, it feels good. All the magically heated water, just the right temperature, keeps it nice and toasty. plenty of soap-like substance to clean up, and then just soak.
It's gonna soak until it's dinner time.
Nice. You feel some of that, the tightness of the muscles and everything else just sort of being seeped out from the heat and that stuff. And till you hear the dinner bell. There's a dinner bell now, apparently.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah. Bing, bing, bing. Anyone else before sorting out where to go?
So Zia, has taken it upon herself to try to take over some of Vic's kitchen, making a few of the recipes that they've learned together. And so she spent time kind of trying to fashion a makeshift bell,
Oh,
and kind of trying to get everybody down.
that's amazing. Oh my gosh. I probably should have you do a roll, but I almost don't want to. If you, I guess, wouldn't mind doing performance, maybe.
Oh, yes, perfect. I want it
Okay.
to be one of my very, very worst things.
Oh, well, unfortunately I'm going to give you advantage because you've been,
Okay.
working with Vic a
Yeah.
lot. So we'll see.
Okay, that's still 17.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing. That's exceptional.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I wanted this to go right.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm really glad. Yeah, and Vic is so appreciative. Like he's there and he's ready, and you're like, no, no, like let me help.
Yeah.
Like there's so much to do, and and he just, like pauses and like, oop, like wants to give you a hug if you seem okay with a hug,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. She's usually like not, but it would definitely be an earned moment that she's just so happy that Vic is happy.
Mm-hmm.
it's a big hug. Whether it's big or small, whatever, you're always just there and amazing. So yeah.
Try.
Well, you
I mean,
succeed.
you've done so much for all of us since the very first time we met, and I think we just need to, you know, be more thankful of each other. I need to be more thankful of everything you and everyone else has done for me. Thank you.
Of course. All right.
All right, now get out there, Captain.
Oh, he blushes a little. Oh, yeah, he's excited. He goes up and starts tackling, like, prep to leave. Okay, if that's everyone, I think that just a little bit before dinner time, or just around the time that you're finishing, let's do a little dinner. It's going to take a little while to get ready to disembark. Um, just to put an umbrella on it, I'll say, stop me if anyone has anything they want to do during dinner, but otherwise, you all have an amazing dinner. So yeah, that's 17, definitely. So like 10 to 12 is like, that's a standard meal. So 17 is a pretty exceptional meal. And it comes out, everything's smelling fantastic. I'm sure a lot of the crew are hungry. And so you're all able to fill your bellies with delicious food that Zia has made. And while it's a bit of a challenge, because I know you don't do it every day, you've had plenty of time, like with your survival, being out in the wilderness preparing food. You spent plenty of time here with Vic. You know where things are, so you're kind of a natural as you kind of lie around the kitchen, and with some really good food in your bellies, and a little drink if you want. Um, Uh, I'm going to put a little bit of an umbrella to Sinister, if that's okay. But if you have anything specific with Titania, let me know. But you have otherwise a really lovely picnic. Titania seems very interested, like kind of eager to hear your stories, hear all about everything that happened, whatever you're willing to share. And it's a picnic gone right. When it clicks, it just clicks. Got little champagne flutes, and the sun is setting on the beach, and it's just a lovely. She seems pretty, into the beach dinner date. So
Listen, this would be one of the moments where I'd put it on you. But given my change in life and a grand new zeal, I'm gonna savor this moment. But you know,
Hmm.
yeah, if the spirit moves you, it moves you. But um,
Hmm.
I do know that our time together is probably coming to an end. So I just wanted to have our last moments be pleasant.
They've been very pleasant, and they won't be
I
our
know.
last.
I know. I was just trying to get. I got him.
I love the confidence.
I may have got a clouded eye, but I can see clear as day and night.
Let's make a plan
Mhm.
to do this again when I've rejoined the ship.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
And then we'll see where things go.
Oh, well, that's lovely. And then he's gonna cast dancing lights, and it's just gonna be like pew, pew,
Nice, nice.
pew,
Uh,
with laser
sh-
light
mhm.
into like a heart.
She'll
You know.
she'll probably, so I mean, I know we haven't discussed this, but if you're comfortable with that as a player,
Mhm.
Titania will probably lean in to get a little snogging on.
Oh, he's been waiting for this moment, so you already
Okay.
know.
Okay.
You can fade to
Okay.
black on that one.
Yeah, you nailed it with the fireworks thing. Okay. Yeah, you get some stocking. She'd definitely be interested. Okay, neat.
All right.
Yeah, and so, the evening settles after nice food. It turns into some of the, the drinks kind of come out for those that are participating. It gets, you got the whole crew here, so it gets a little rowdy. You're sharing everything that happened, like on the ship while you're away, everything with the elder brain, like, and then, we're tiptoeing around this elder brain so it doesn't see us or sense us. And there's, and there's fucking this over here, and then, but it just becomes everyone's really appreciating one another in the company. And at one point, Vic, as the quote unquote captain. Oh, right. Well, I'd like to get us underway. That way, I can start drinking. But I just need to know where we're headed. Heard a few different thoughts on it. Census.
We have to take
Okay.
Titania back, don't we?
Hmm.
So Atmos Isles, and then we can figure it out from there.
I think we should check in on our island. Check in and maybe drop the book off there for safekeeping.
Um,
Mm,
I'm not 100% sure that Jolene wouldn't have a way of getting there.
Also, Breeless benefactor is still over there too,
Oh, that's true.
doing research and whatnot.
Really, have you connected with him recently?
Nope, not yet.
Mm,
I can though. I can
I'm
see if
sure
I want to watch it.
he'd love to hear about the Tildari, I bet.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Which would you like to? Should we drop Titania off? We could restock while we're in Atmos,
Yeah, let's do that.
and then head to our island after.
Yeah.
Is
It'll be nice to have a stop with Gabagool, you know?
I
Ooh, I could taste the olive's nest.
oh, that sounds amazing. Right, so I'm gonna get that under a Kip. Are you still in a condition to navigate? And Kip's like, of course, Vic. Who do you think I am? You think I can't navigate? Give me half in the bag and steer us clear, through a field of enemy ships. Just point me in the right direction. I'll take you there.
All right.
Vic's like, right, yeah, I trust you. All right, let's go. And then I'll be back, and I can join you all. So Vic and Kip head up, and they set course against Wisp and everyone else that's manning the Charles, manning things on the ship, um, and point the ship in the direction of Atmos Isles. And you begin your flight over. You feel the ship like, backing out, has that subtle back out, like, ooh, wait, we're moving feeling before it pivots around and then starts its curved ascent away from the island. And then it, like an airplane, you get that whomp, 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 it really takes off. And then the gravity system on the ship kicks in and it's nice and comfortable. And you are once again soaring through the skies, this time over Atmos Island. Now your ship goes really quickly, and you're not that far. I think it was like I think you had like a 3-day thing or something like that. I think it was just 3 days, if that sounds right. And so you begin your journey. You have a good night's rest. It goes to the next day. There's room for sort of that when you travel anywhere, when you do something like really intense like that next day, it's just like most of the crew are like, they take shifts relaxing. Like, I'm in bed for this portion of the day. And you head into your second day out of 3. And that seems to be going well. It's getting a little at the height at which you need to fly through this particular area due to wind currents and stuff. You're sort of in the layer that gets clouds, so it does start getting a little bit cloudy, and visibility goes down a bit. But there's still sun poking through the clouds in different parts. Anyone working on the ship is getting a lot of the moisture from the clouds as you fly through, and until the clouds become dark. And you've got to fly down out of the clouds because it starts raining, and there's thunder and lightning starting to crack. Normal color lightning, nothing purple, thank goodness. But you dip down so that you are not flying through lightning. But for anyone working up, taking any turns up on the upper deck for night number 2, it's heavy rain pouring, thunder cracking and rolling, lightning flashing for if you're inside the ship. It's almost a comforting feel at this point, because it's just part of travel. It has that rappy tap tap of that heavy rain everywhere on the ship. If you look outside, you see it just kind of dripping down the outside of the little portcullis, the glass windows. As you all settle in for a good night's rest, the droning rain really helps us sleep. Sure, there's thunder and rolling and lightning and stuff, but for the most part, you're all able to fall asleep. Except for Charlie the cat that is in the corner using a ghost litter box.
Of course he is. I am tired of these ghost turds.
Yeah. I can't
I'm
see him, but
sick
he's
and
stepping.
tired of these ghost herds this entire ship.
I keep slipping on them.
What is that? You don't see it. Oh. And with that, we'll take our bio break. For anyone new, that's just a silly transition into our bio break. Yeah, so we take about 10 minutes. We do our bio business. We keep our audio hot, so chat with us if you want, ask us questions and stuff. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes. All right, see if this will work. Oh, nope, didn't work at all. Cool. All right, catch you all.
Wow.
Real soon. Yeah, that's okay. I had to mess with the transition thing, and it's working right.
Okay, I'll be right back.
The extra drinking's really got me tonight. So, like, I can concentrate on storytelling. I can concentrate on storytelling. Like, I'm gonna be so bad.
Oy.
Grundy. Oh my gosh, that inspo art. Jeez.
I need to turn off streamer bot for tonight because I
Oh,
say certain words and it triggers things and I
oh
hear sounds
no.
in my ear. Yeah, I'm redoing my entire thing,
Oh
my entire
really?
stream.
Oh
Yeah, so
nice.
I'll
I'm listening, by the way. I'm just
later
kidding.
on I'm gonna like message you like
Oh.
screenshots of what my current stream looks like and you'll understand the daunting task ahead of me.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Be right back.
Mm-hmm. He totally wants it. He's dumb. Cześć, Marka. Not a thing. Are you? Mm-mm. Reese.
Yeah.
You know, I found out. Well, I learned that Mortal Kombat's 30 years old. Halo's 21 years old.
Yeah, I was already old enough to play both
Yeah.
I
because
was
I
in
was
Mhm.
12
first
when Street
grade.
Fighter 2 was out. Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
in first grade when Halo came out.
Wait, you said 21 years old?
Yes, 21.
I was 21 when Halo came out.
Okay.
Oh,
Very
God.
nice.
Oh, God.
I was, how old was I? Mortal Kombat came out. I think I was like 13.
Yes.
The perfect age to play Mortal Kombat.
I was
Uh-huh.
ripping skulls out and spines. I was finishing him. I was doing it all, baby. Get
All those
over it.
consoles were so expensive in the Philippines. I didn't actually get my first console. Well, technically, we got our first console when I was little. That was the Atari 2600.
Mhm. I
And
wasn't
then my
allowed to play it.
and then our first official console was Christmas of 1994. My mom got both me and my other younger brother one each, brand new Sega Genesis. Because
Ooh.
you remember KB
Ooh.
Toys?
Yes.
This was when KB Toys was still the biggest shit, and they had a buy one get one, and my mom bought 2, and I'm like, oh, nice. And it came
Sega
with
was the
Sonic 2 and Sonic Spinball.
oh, I
Oh
love
man.
Sonic Spinball.
And of course now, because of technology, like, well, I mean, even back in like 90, I think no, 2002, when I was working for the British school in the Netherlands, and the first Xbox came out, I already had a mod chip on mine, so I have every single Sega Genesis title installed on it,
Oh yeah.
like English and Japanese language ones. So I was like,
Let's
it's so
go.
cool. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it still works. I just need to get I need to find a broken original Xbox from here to replace the power supply in that one, because that one is 220 and it's not switching. So I need to get one that only runs on 110.
Oh wow. You got the
So,
red eye of death.
that's a 360.
Oh yeah, that was 360. That one did that.
Funny story about that. Yeah, that's how I scored a working Xbox 360 for $50.
Oh,
My best
finesse.
friend had 2 broken ones, but the funny thing was they both had completely different red rings of death. One
Mhm.
had the 1, and then one had 3. The one with the 1 only had the problem with the DVD drive. So I
Mhm.
moved the DVD drive from one to the other, and I had a $50 Xbox that was working.
Got him.
Yep.
That's how you do it though.
Oh, I am the definition of budget gamer. Even all this, like, here my stream, it's either
Yeah.
through donations or through commissions and stuff. Like the only
You
thing
don't
that I
you
don't pay much.
don't pay full price for nothing.
No, I think the only thing I actually not even I paid for. Mom got me as a present was my drawing tablet, the XP pen right in front of me.
Mhm.
Yeah, everything else, these 2 monitors that I'm using, we got free from my mom's other office because they were changing displays, so they were giving away monitors. So
Lucky.
I scored 4 24-inch monitors and 2 steel, the metal gas powered arms.
Mhm.
Got a couple of those, and then again, because my mom's current office moved to another location, a new one, they gave away 2 more. So now I
Oh,
have 4
lucky.
of these things. So the thing is, only one of them has the actual attachments. So I have to like sell them.
Okay. That's what's
Yeah.
up. Any
Always.
plans on
Hmm?
you using them right now or just to
It depends. If I might hold on to them just in case, because I don't know what's going on so far as like my mom's actually in New Jersey right now.
Mhm.
She's gonna be there till like January-ish.
Mhm.
So I've got the whole house to myself.
Good for you.
But in the meantime, like actually we're kind of trying to look for like a place for rent back in Jersey again.
Oh, you moving back?
Well, it's been considered just because mom would like the whole family back together again, because my brother still lives in Jersey, but he said his rent is too high.
Yeah.
One bedroom, one bath, in an apartment complex, like one of those brand new apartments. Like he's paying like 1,900.
Oh wow. The rent's
This
too damn high everywhere.
this house, 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, garage, yard, front yard, backyard,
Mhm.
1,900.
Mm.
So by comparison, we got the
Yeah.
better deal.
Right.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
cheaper
so.
down south. The problem is it also
Is
kind of
down south.
it's down south, and the salaries don't scale.
They don't.
No. So cost of living, like, it's crap. Nothing caught up to inflation.
That's sad though, but it's true.
Mm.
Mm.
So I'm gonna finish building this on Monday on my stream. Oh.
Uh-oh.
And
Ooh.
then probably the next one I'm gonna start is the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, Breeless. I mean Breeless. Stephanie.
I look. Did you see me look?
Well, look. I got the new Captain America.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
That's Sam.
That's Sam.
That's Sam.
That's awesome.
And I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
War
you need
Machine.
You're holding it in the wrong hand because he's always supposed to be on your left.
Oh. Left hand.
Always on your left. There we go.
There we go. My bad.
Nice.
I am so looking forward to Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, me too.
God,
I got all the Wakanda affiliation painted already.
listen, Riri Williams. I am so looking forward to that.
Yeah. Iron Heart.
Ironheart.
It's gonna be
Oh,
fun.
God,
It's gonna be
Mhm.
exciting.
can't wait for all the angry Marvel fanboys to bitch about it.
What can they
Sure.
say?
Yeah.
Well, they do say that the worst fan of the Marvel franchise are the Marvel fans themselves, so they're not wrong-ish.
Star Wars fans can be pretty harsh.
Oh, Star Wars. Somehow the only ones I haven't really
Uh-oh.
seen that are bad are Star Trek
Oh, no,
fans.
We're
you're
getting a
being
raid,
hurt.
y'all.
Thank you
Are we
for the
getting a
Grumpy
raid.
Dungeon Masters are raiding us with a party of 6.
Grumpy? What's
Aw,
up,
thank
Grumpy?
you.
The audio is live, right? They can hear us.
Yeah, they can hear
Yes.
us.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello.
I
So,
hope
what
y'all
are
had
you
a good I
grumpy?
hope y'all had a good stream.
Yeah. What are your Dungeon Masters grumpy about?
Yeah, the Grumpy Dungeon. Dungeon Grumpy.
One of the party wandered off and they blew themselves up and now they're missing a leg.
Oh no.
Oh.
I'm still grumpy about that. No.
Hey, it's better than a wooden peg leg. That's all I'm saying.
I
I mean,
think
how stylish can you make a wooden peg leg? Come on.
Sinister could like cheat it. Like when he's in disguise, he might put a boot on over the leg. And he's like out of costume. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I
I mean,
forgot
if it's
to
just
mention something, Sinister. Hang on. Regarding that leg,
oh,
it's
please tell
optional.
me it's actually shaped like a foot.
Oh, I'm taking your BRB screen off.
Okay. Hey,
Oh,
you guys.
message you.
Hey, professional, what's up?
Hi.
Um,
My leg.
Kind of hoping for a Christie scene like C-3PO. I was like, come back here and finish fixing me with your leg holding your leg up in the air. Oh,
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 Steph.
look at Steph.
aw.
Baller.
Thank you, Steph. And hello, Professional W. And Scruffy Duck. And everyone there from the raid on Grumpy Dungeon Master. Nice to have you here.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, I
oh,
forgot to
oh,
mention that, Chrissy. I'm so sorry.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
There you
gonna
go,
be great.
Steph.
I don't want you to have to
Wow.
I can adventure,
Maybe.
Oh, it gave it
Oh,
to
Look at
thank you,
Cookie.
me.
Chris.
Cookie.
It gave it to Cookie. Look at that.
Mm.
Oh, no. That means all the instant hydrations.
Several incoming.
Several.
And of course, hydration today is brought to you by this bottle of Chardonnay. So
Oh,
It's
I love
holding you down.
Chardonnay so
nice.
much.
just
Mhm.
come
We'll
out
be
to Sonoma.
Mm.
nice.
Oh wow.
Nice,
We're in the
nice.
country for that.
Well,
It
it'd be
was
funny though. Like we would be able to gauge what kind of day you had based on what you're holding. Like you come out with the whole frenzy bottle
Oh yeah.
from box. It's like it's been that kind of day. Clunk.
Mhm.
Okay.
look. I mean, it's always been a day.
Oh my
Mine
goodness.
just requires double the energy of a can of Monster.
Mm.
That's when you know it's bad. This is at 300 milligrams of caffeine in it.
Jeez.
I had a mimosa. It's
Mm.
Oh,
gone now.
nice.
But I also have like
Aw.
5 bottles of wine over here, so you can
Just in
see this on
case.
camera.
When
Okay.
in doubt.
Whoops.
Is there a mature thingy on her?
The
Yes.
curtain has been taken off.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's some sort of very intense anime theme playing when you're like, yeah, there's 5 bottles of wine back here. Like you're like powering up or something, like ready to
Mhm.
go.
Mhm.
Just hear,
Mhm.
see the golden aura, hair turn
Well, it's like
blonde.
I only have one senpai, but one day I will grow up and I will have as many as you.
I love that.
I, I'm just drinking a lot of juice and electrolytes.
No.
Okay,
Yes,
I have
thank
Oh,
red
you.
yeah.
wine.
Dan, look at
Daniel,
that.
31
Thank
Damn.
months.
you.
You kicked off a hype train.
Nice.
A hype
And
train.
hi, Just Take
We're on
10.
it. We're on it.
All right, well,
Thank
let me get
you.
back into our fun storytelling. So sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah, whatever. I get to play
Oh,
baby.
I'm sorry. Okay, let me put us some nice thunderstorm action here.
Oh yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
All right.
And I'll put that in Zoom. And
Okay.
then let's see. No, that's not gonna work. Take a look at this.
Yay. Oh wow.
Okay. I'm gonna add another one in a minute here, but for now we'll just start with our thunderstorms and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we are. It is a beautiful thunderstorming. Oh, you are over the hype trains. Oh,
So
hearts.
sad.
Level 2, baby, yeah.
What's up?
Thunder rolls outside, lightning flashes, but the heavy pelting of rain, the torrential downpour outside of your flying arcane airship racing through the skies beneath the clouds helps everyone, lulls everyone to sleep. You're getting good nights of rest, but I am going to ask that you all make a perception check for me, please.
It's nighttime for me.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess sort of daytime for Sinister,
oh,
but Sinister, you can
no.
do it with advantage because you just trance.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll help.
Breathless, what'd you get?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's a 5 total, but it's a natural one.
That's 5 to Sinister.
13.
Okay, Zia.
4.
Oh, no, okay. Grundy. Oh no.
15.
All right. Grundy. A particularly loud crack of thunder, one of those that's like right overhead, snaps and breaks your sleep, and you jolt up a little bit, at least awake, snapped from your sleep. You look around. You kind of wake up and you look up. You see your headboard and your wall, but if you look up further, the wall just ends and the ceiling's not there. You're looking up at like fog at best. You look in any other direction, the wall only extends the width of your headboard. Everywhere else you look, the room is no longer there. The walls aren't there. The floor is not there. And instead, you're looking
Thanks.
out at what appears to be an endless, misty swamp. What would you like to do?
Well, first of all, kind of sit up and look down. Just a kind of a tentative feel of the floor.
Hey, it's water. Water everywhere. This swamp, murky bits of water as the gloms of marshy algae float on the top, and other areas are just water, you imagine, but they're green and brown shades, liquid.
Ugh.
Do you test it for depth?
No.
Okay.
As soon as I noticed the yeah, it's kind of gross. No.
There's a putrid smell that's washing over you too.
Nice.
This one green.
Well, it's not easy being green.
Get out of this swamp.
What would you like to do? You're kind of stuck in bed currently. You still hear the rolls of thunder, and behind the mist that fills the sky and most, you can only see out 25, 30 feet, you can see the lightning flashing.
I'm gonna kind of do this on my bed, like kind of like, you know, look how you like test the spring on your chair. I'm gonna test. Does the bed bob, or
It
is it pretty
seems
solid?
as you do that, splunk, you feel the bed rock a little bit, as though floating and not secured safely on the floor. Make a quick dexterity save as it rocks from your test. It's a low DC because I know you didn't do it crazy down or anything.
That's 13.
Oh yeah. Yep. So it rocks a bit, and you know, bounce it out. Okay, bounces back out.
Okay. Can I reach out through the mind link and see if anyone else is awake?
What do you say?
Don't know if anyone can hear me or is awake right now, but I appear to be stranded in a swamp on my bed.
No response. Something moves at the edge of your vision where the mist begins to consume your sight, about 30 feet out. A person, maybe? But they kind of dip into the mist as it sort of continuously folds in front of them, and you get a little glimpse. It folds in front of them. You get a little glimpse. Can't make out any features. About 30 feet out from the foot of your bed.
I guess I use a druidcraft cantrip for this, but kind of make a little swish with my arm and kind of like, just have like a little flame, like a little light.
Oh, okay. It helps better illuminate the space around you. Again, the putrid smell. Oh goodness, it's a very foul. Well, like algae gone bad. Like algae has just sat for a very long time, like sitting in the corner of a men's room locker shower. You know, it's very potent and pungent. You can see again the gloms. There's areas of this. Again, it looks like marshland that feel like maybe it could support weight. Maybe it's really muddy, but it's mostly water. 70% of this water type material, in air quotes, and 30% marshiness. As you look around, it's so opaque with brown and green that you just see like your reflection as you're looking. You do feel as you're like sitting in bed that up by the headboard here, your hand's getting wet. You look back and the bed is slowly sinking down.
Can I see if there's anything that resembles solid ground around me?
There's that murky marsh. Maybe there's some just a couple of feet away by the right foot of your bed, and some off to the left, but it's about 5 feet away. You'd have to jump a bit, and it's tough to tell if it's stable or not. But it's sort of like bits of mud and grass, like some sort of swamp grass that's sort of clumped up. So maybe it'll support weight, maybe not.
There's absolutely nothing here that I can check depth with. So the only thing I can do is Jack Sparrow it and stand on my bed and wait for it to sink.
Okay, stand up on the bed.
And then I'm gonna step off onto once it like gets low enough, like where I'm actually touching the liquid, I'll step off onto the onto whatever solid I can find.
Okay, there's some pretty close at the right foot of your bed. Just as you're going to take that step, lightning cracks across the sky, thunder rolls loudly across the space. Go ahead and make a quick, an acrobatics check to kind of like try and land on that in a balanced manner. Not super hard because it's not very far away.
Yeah, 10.
Okay. You land and wobble 1 foot on a semi um, solid mass, but your foot is slowly sinking into what feels like mud and murk in this spot.
I'm gonna keep moving.
Okay.
How a bike, like a bicycle, if I keep moving, maybe I'll stay on top of things.
Okay. There
Literally.
are some paths that seem like you can continue to move ahead. You're moving toward that figure. You want to continue in that direction? I mean, that's your, like, the only direction you can head in from here.
I think I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
But hopefully with what do I have? Oh, I'm literally just in my sleeper, aren't I?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah. So think yeah, okay. So well, soggy pajamas, here I go.
Okay. You begin heading forward, and you're carefully trying to keep an eye on like solid ground versus liquid. You notice that the level of water starts rising at a moderately rapid rate up above the solid ground. You've moved a good 15 feet. You're about 15 feet away from whatever this figure is that's sort of folding in and out of the mist on the edge. This plot of grass and mud that you're standing on, you feel it, you're sinking a little faster than usual. The grass itself wraps around your leg. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw. Wraps tightly around your foot, your ankle, trying to race up your leg.
That's a 19.
Nice. You kick it, give it a good kick and tear before too much can grapple you, and you leap forward. You're safe from that, and you jump forward to avoid it down into the water. The water seems about 6 feet deep where you're at. It's still, at maybe like chest level for you, but rising, approaching your neck. The figure in the mist seems to be beckoning to you with an arm. You just see arms push forth from the mist and curl the mist in its fingers as it beckons you forward.
Well, not much of a choice here. If you say that it's by my neck, I'm gonna swim that way.
Okay. You can feel, that still bobbing you up further and further as you're swimming. The cold of the swamp is creeping up your skin, up your neck as you're now swimming through. And you're swimming toward the beckoning creature?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the only thing that makes any sort of sense in this swamp.
Yeah. Lightning cracks across the sky once again, and thunder rolls even closer this time as you swim the next 15 feet or so over to the creature. An arm of the creature reaches out through the mist and down to reach towards you. Hand out.
Well, like a friend of mine in the other dimension says, YOLO.
Okay, it pulls you up, and as it pulls you forward, the mist parts around its frame, and you see before you a mirror image of yourself, skin melted off of its face, liquid pouring out of its eye, and another crack of lightning. And we're going to pause right there for Grundy. Sinister, I think you got the next highest perception check.
Oh no, here we go. All right, let's go.
Sinister, another roll of crack of thunder overhead seems to jar you out of your trance. And you, of course, enjoy the dark. In fact, you can see through magical darkness at this point. So you sense a magical darkness around you. Thankfully, your vision from Shar allows you to peer through. But damn, is it cold in here. You can see your breath. A shiver runs up your spine. uncomfortably cold, as though you stepped out into a cold winter's morning. And you see what looks like roughly humanoid form, a bit faster than a humanoid form should be, and almost wispy, like in the way that Charles is sometimes transparent and wispy.
Yeah.
And it's in your room. It darts from some of the gorgeous, tapestry, like the curtains and things you have in there, into another, and you just kind of snap out like, it's freezing, but is that a trick of the light?
Right.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna first instinct was to run away and disappear, but Shar will shelter me in the darkness. So let's see what this is.
Are you heading over to that particular curtain that it seemed to duck behind?
Yes.
Okay, carefully get up and creep out of bed. Would you mind are you trying to do it quietly?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it quietly.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check. I'm so sorry. I'm listening and I'll talk right back.
Well, you know that he's gonna try and not be loud about it. So, all right, I got a 19 total. Well, I roll low. I can hear you a little. All right.
Wow.
I roll low on the dice.
Something I'm a little worried about there, but it seems to be okay. All right.
Okay.
Crisis averted.
Yes. So you navigate your way over, and you can see that this curtain is sort of up against the wall here, or around a pillar, or whatever you designed in this room. And you can see it sort of billowing, and as it billows, it presses up against clearly a humanoid form. You make your way very quietly over there. What would you like to do as you approach?
Does it seem magical?
You don't. You go to use your detect magic, and you don't feel anything working.
Okay, so this is obviously not a magical entity. It could be. It's possibly unnatural, so let's go. Shar, don't fail me now.
Nice. Are you going to? Do you want to pull? What would you like to do to once you're here in arm's
I
reach?
just want to kind of maybe, haha, just like catch it slipping if it's
Okay. You kind of and look around, and there's nothing. You look back, and now it's not pushing against anything. It's just a curtain in the space.
all right. I'm gonna pinch myself to make sure that I'm.
You pinch yourself, and you feel it.
Okay, so this is not me tripping.
Something moves to the right corner of your eye.
Oh God, invisible.
Poof! You turn invisible. You turn and look, and you catch just the tail end of that wispiness leaving your room out the door.
Follow it. Now that I'm confident I'm invisible. I don't know why I'm confident, but all right.
Do you want to look left or right as you peer out of your room?
I'm gonna, whichever way it went, that's where I'm gonna look.
It was hard to see, but it was just a second ago.
Okay, so I'm gonna, whatever direction I saw it last, then that's where I'm gonna look.
Okay, you step
If
out.
it's right or.
Okay, you take a look right, and you don't see anything. Take a look left. Take a look right again, and you catch. You think you've got to focus a little. We're going to make a perception check as you're looking right. The hallway runs down and then turns sort of left and right here at the end.
18.
Okay, you're looking right, carefully concentrating. Is that something moving? And you hear nothing. An eerie silence.
Like the absence of sound?
Yeah, everything goes really, really quiet for a moment. As you're looking, you do start to catch, as you focus intently, and the sound just drops out, the rain, the thunder, the lightning, everything perfectly silent. You catch the wisp of something down at the end of the hall, turning right. And the droning sound of nothing is suddenly filled in your left ear.
Ah! I'm invisible, so that's extra freaky. So now I know this. I'm detected clearly.
But you turn left and there's nothing there. It's just more darkness in the hallway. But again, off to the right, you did see at the end of the hallway, off that form, turning right again.
All right, let's. I'm following it. I'm following it. Shouldn't,
Okay.
but I'm following it.
You make your way to the end of the hallway, and you turn right. And you're now in sort of, you were kind of, because your thing is towards the end of the hallway, so you're now just outside of the galley. And you see a very clear now, spectral form. Let me bring up my imagery for this. There it is. Jeez. Okay. So this looks like. Oh no, I need stutter image. Okay. Oh my gosh. So. Well then. This. Gross. You see a creature that looks humanoid-ish. Arms sort of extra long and lanky, fingers maybe 2 or 3 times the size of a normal like humanoid would be. And they bend. Some bend forward, some bend backwards the other way as they bend back and forth in different directions, twitching in a rather disgusting manner. They seem to be feeling and pushing and pulling against the wall.
Oh no! What are you looking for? Why are you here?
They're about 40 feet down from you. Beyond them, you see the light of another spectral form approaching them. From the right, you see another coming out of the galley and approaching. And walking from behind you, past your left, and past you down the hallway, another, you hear first, and then you see the clank of heavy boots just right past your left-hand side. And you see what looks like sort of an armored figure, someone that if you took maybe a moderately armored humanoid, drowned them in a swamp for like a year and a half and got them a little bloated, drained them halfway, and then made them walk. They still have armor that sags and weighs down on the bloated and dripping skin. Smell is so putrid as it passes past you. You feel in this moment protection, Shar, as though you're shielded from
Thank you,
being
Shar.
perceived.
Thank you, Shar. Okay. I need to get out of here. How do I get out of here?
You do see the main one as this other one walks past you and approach. The 4 of them all together. The main one holds its 2 hands out. The other 3 put their hands in. And there's like this disgusting goop that drips out of the other one's hands onto this main one that looks a little bit different. Begins wiping the glue on the wall of the hallway outside of the galley. And we're going to put a pause on Sinister. And we'll go to Zia.
Oh boy.
Because I believe you were next. Okay. Zia, you are woken, but there's nothing drastic about it. You hear the thunder as you wake, and you probably, saying, "Oh, thunder woke me up." But you hear a sound out in the hallway that sounds like howling wind, sort of like whipping and wrapping cloth, whipping and some heavy wind, and like some wood, heavy wood clunking against other out in the hallway. It's a little alarming being on the ship. What would you like to do, Zia?
So she would probably go up the door, trying to sneak as quickly as possible and see if she could see maybe through the crack. But trying to be as stealthy as possible.
Okay. Yeah, go and roll a stealth check.
I'm gonna say she's definitely very tired, so I'm sure it would be like at disadvantage.
If you'd like to, absolutely go for it. That definitely makes sense.
It doesn't even matter. Her stealth's too good.
Nice.
If she's asleep, she gets a 23. That was a 23 at disadvantage.
You can be stealthy in your sleep. You can say it now, and it's factual.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so you walk up and you get out of bed like, what is this? But you're very silent. You look around and it sounds like, I mean, you don't see anything. Hallway seems clear, but you can kind of tell, with your sense of, sonar that it's somewhere down the hall to the right. Sound is coming. Probably one of the other rooms.
Good to know. Okay, nice. Checking inventory real quick. To see what I could possibly do. Okay, so it's definitely, but you can't see the actual thing itself, right?
Nope. Hallway looks
Okay.
clear, like normal.
And she would attempt to mind link with anyone else at that point, probably.
Okay, what would you like to say?
Is anyone awake?
No response.
Okay. So, one dagger drawn. She's then gonna try to talk to Bo.
Okay. You turn to talk to Bo. Bo's not there.
So, she's gonna very, very slowly open the door
Mm-hmm. You look around.
and look out both ways.
Hallway looks normal. But the sound, you get the feeling it's maybe just like 2 doors down.
Okay.
The band?
That's it. They're
So- That's one more door, Steph. You forgot a door. So if you took those 2 doors and you added the door, then you get it. There are a lot
So
of
right now
doors
it's just the
to
doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we leave doors? The threshold, if you will. So Zia's probably gonna try to go to the opposite wall and sneak down.
Okay.
To try to get a better look.
Okay, you continue down the hallway, and definitely your second door on the left. It's very loud. The sound is on the other side of the door in that room. Again, it sounds like cloth whipping in the wind and some wood.
Are there any gaps in the door? Like
There are
underneath or to the
just like a
side?
half an inch at the bottom.
And also, I'm so sorry, Dan, I don't have the ship's map in front of me. Does Zia know whose room this is?
Oh gosh.
I'm so sorry.
No,
That's
it's okay.
completely my bad as a player.
No, you're fine. You didn't know it was going to be on here. I've got it right here. It's pinned.
It's in Discord and pinned.
Yeah. Let me open up
Oh,
this.
good point.
All right, so you are here in 8. This one's empty.
Okay.
This one's typically breathless. Rather.
Okay. So she would peer through, trying to see if she can see anything in the crack
Okay.
of the doorway.
It's very, very dark. Not really able to see much, except every so often there's a bit of a flash of lightning, but because it's focused in this small space, it's kind of bright.
Okay. She would reach her hand for the doorknob and slowly start to turn it,
Okay.
trying to remain kind of behind the door when opening it. So worst case scenario, it has to stab through the door before to see it.
Okay. All right, so you very carefully staying behind the door, creak the door open, and as you open the door, the room seems fine. In fact, the sound is much quieter now. You still hear it, but it's much quieter than it was a moment ago with the door shut. You can hear that sound very definitively from the wall, just outside that exterior wall, where the windows are. There's little circular windows down here. You can make if you're going in the room, you're welcome to do like an investigation or perception if you want.
So I think she's gonna really quickly like whimper, Rila?
Response. Breeless,
Oh,
as the lightning
response.
flashes, looks like Breeless' bed has been used but is empty currently.
Okay. And the sound is coming kind of from the window almost.
That wall somewhere between the two windows, it's like a 5-foot space between the two windows. It sounds like it's maybe outside the ship, cloth and wood clanking against the outside in heavy wind. You can still hear the sound, just not as loud.
Okay. So yeah, I will definitely investigate.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead and do
luckily,
investigation.
his second best thing is
Yay!
investigation with +7, so we get a 20.
Woo!
I think she would mostly focus on the area around the window,
Okay.
seeing if it had been open or if anything else was out of place. Like if the bed has been slept in, like if there's anything else. Is there dust in certain places and not in others? That sort of thing.
Okay. The room, for the most part, seems the way most of your rooms typically look. Nothing in particular seems out of place. The bed looks like it was slept in and like not made after someone got up. It doesn't look like it was left in a hurry or anything. The things you would notice that are maybe a little out of place is you're trying to look out of the windows too, like the sound outside. You can't quite catch, you know, and you'll be right out between these windows, this awkward blind spot as you're trying to look between the two. But you do see, looks like maybe some wood bundled in with some cloth around it. Like it's like a bunch of cloth around like a big blocky, what sounds like wood, kind of like in the wind and wrapping against the outside of the ship. And so you can't quite make out what it is. It's in that blind spot, but you do see the inside of the ship on the wall, right behind where that thing's clonk, 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 banging up against the ship. You spot a little tiny, really out of place, like a hole. Now this ship is magical. It doesn't really have like holes in wood, but there's like a maybe a little half-inch diameter hole in the wall, and it looks like there's something in it. Like it's dark because it's a little tiny hole. It looks like maybe an inch or two in. There's something stuck in there.
Okay, so she has like her inventory on her, right?
Whatever you go to sleep with, or if you wanted to try and pick
Okay.
things up as you woke up.
I just think it would be funny for her to have like a little aside looking at that little bit of the nightmare beast that she has and being like, I never thought I'd say this, but I wish you were here right now to help take care of it. And she goes down to kind of reach in and see what's in the hole.
Okay. Now you try and peer in. It's so narrow, you can't quite get a good look. But it looks like if you had a blade or something, you could get in there and maybe like dig it out.
And she would definitely do that.
Okay. So you get just the edge of your blade in enough to like kind of pinch whatever this little. It's like a cylindrical hole, and it seems to be. It almost looks like a little string or something in there, like, but it's kind of flopping a bit. And so you get the edge of your blade on it and pull it out. And it's not a string, but a cord, but kind of like a sinewy cord, the way that a tendon or connective tissue might be. And You pull it a little bit, and it seems to be stuck. Like there's something a little wider on the other side of the wall that it's connected to. A little force, you could probably yank it through if you wanted. It's that kind of.
So she's gonna slowly kind of put it back out there,
Okay.
and push it all the way through.
Nice.
And
Okay.
then kind of, if she can get back to the window as she's pushing it through, see if she can see it. Whatever is attached to the other end of the window.
You start pushing it back through, and as you do, you get like, you know, it's a little, it's bundling up because it's not pushing through nicely. So you get it in there and kind of jam it through, and that hole turns into a crack suddenly, and cracks spread across the wall and blow out, including the floor just in front of your feet. You can make a dexterity saving throw as the ship explodes and just opens up to the elements in front of you.
Thea, in that very moment, like, not a Wile E. Coyote moment, but it's just gonna be like, Realist is gonna be so mad at me.
Nice.
Okay, dexterity, right?
Yep, just a dex saving throw in case you get a bonus to that.
11.
On the very, like the balls of your feet, you step back and you're leaning out and like holding yourself, trying to balance from falling out. Before you, the sound explodes of the wind rushing past as you're soaring through the air, clouds and thunder lighting up, filling the space in front of you. Boards weak beneath your feet, you're leaning back, and it's only this huge form with all the cloth and stuff that's been wrapping against what was a wall that spares you from falling outside. Is that the wind whips it away and it comes back and strikes you. And as it does, you grab it to balance, and it spins around a bit, and it's Breelith hung by a rope, dead for weeks. And we're gonna pause Zia right.
Oh my god, Dad! What the hell? I'm sorry.
Breelith. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Breelith, you wake up. Do another crack of thunder. Again, this storm right overhead. Yeah. Sorry. Zia, can you make a perception check for me? I'm gonna get back to you, but just take that and hang on to that number if you would. Crack of thunder, lightning, just illuminating your entire space. Was that something in the corner? No. No. The light flickers again. There's nothing there. Nothing there. You're listening as the thunder rolls and rolls really loud, filling the space. And as that thunder rolls away and gets quiet, you hear chopping sound, like a when Vic prepares food.
Okay. Like coming from outside the room?
Yes, it seems to be somewhere. I don't know, it's hard to make a perception check. It's hard to place it. It should be something you can place.
Mm. Oh. Okay, never mind. 15.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it's somewhere outside the hallway or one of the other rooms nearby. Very methodical.
Phyllis would kind of like slowly step up to the door and crack it open a bit to see if she can still hear it.
You crack open the door, and you've opened the door, seemingly to the galley. It's your room, but it's connected to the galley. You know it's not right, but you hear it from the kitchen. You see a form, not Vic, not your typical, but a furbolg that's over there, back to you, working in the kitchen. There's a big cutting board in the center, and they're leaving.
Hello?
Do you
Excuse me.
head in? Or
And she says it out loud. Yeah, well, she
From
would
your
kind
room?
of like take like tentative steps out of her room towards.
Take a few steps. Very poorly lit, but the lightning illuminates every so often. The hand raised over, and then it goes dark, and you hear the chop. You hear lightning flashes again, and they're pulling a bone out of the meat, like a thick thigh bone, sort of. On the floor over near your feet. They don't seem to be answering you. Back to chopping.
Excuse me.
They pause
She
for a
would.
moment.
Oh.
Back to.
Could you stop shopping for a second and let me know if you want. I didn't know that there were other fur books on the ship. Are you new?
It goes
She would kind of like
dark.
take slow step. Oh.
Okay. You take some slow steps, and it goes dark again, and it pauses again. The lightning flashes again, and you're looking at the wall. There's just a wall of the galley here. And a moment later, behind you, maybe about 5 feet behind you now,
Okay, she would turn around pretty quickly, probably.
as you do, the lighting flashes again, and you see this fur-bold form, fur sort of matted with who knows what looks like flesh and tissue that's sort of melted a bit, sort of like sloughs coming off in places, covered in blood up the arms with this blood-soaked butcher's apron wrapped around.
Do I see what it's chopping, or?
You can go, you have to walk around. It's sort of on the other side of them. Do you want to take a look?
Yeah, she would take a few slow steps.
Okay. You look around and you see a portion of a leg. Your leg. Bone pulled out, sloppy, formless meat of your thigh being cut, one section of another after another, across the back of your neck, like a thin hair. You feel pressure. And you hear behind you the whizzing of a butcher's blade. And
She would try to duck.
we're pausing Breelith right there. Okay. Let's see. We got that. All right. It's in that moment as you try and duck Breelith, boom, you hit your head. And you look around, like, what on earth happened? What did you hit your head on? And it's your bedpost. You're in your bed. And I'm going to pause you there. Zia, what was your perception check?
I got a 14.
That's enough. In that terrible storm, just for the briefest of moments over the dead Breelith's shoulder, you could have sworn you saw something out in the clouds flying nearby. You wake up in that moment as Breelith, the wind pushes Breelith like sunken in, dead face into yours for a minute, and you wake up, you fall out of your bed. For Zia, and I'll pause Zia there. Sinister, you're watching them slough this stuff on, and once again you hear behind you in your ear, like approaching, like, and you wake up. You're under your blankets, like, get. And you're in your room. And for Grundy, oh my goodness, right, Grundy, you wake up, and it's a pillow. You got a pillow in your face. Throw the pillow off, and you seem to be awake in bed. And I'll let all of you do whatever you'd like to do at this point.
Screaming! Ah!
You all hear Sinister scream.
Ah! Ah!
You all seem to have
No,
woken
wait.
up at the same time. Would you like?
No!
think-
No! Oh!
Would probably, and again, I don't know if anyone would even see her do this, but just for flavor, would probably run to Liazana's room to like check on her since she had just woken up and still like hasn't, and then just be like, and then probably just go and try to see if anyone else. I got him.
Okay, so-
See if anyone else.
Gotcha. Before you get to checking for anyone else just yet, Sinister will scream. You'll hear footfalls running through the hallways. It's Breelith. You're probably familiar with Breelith's footfalls.
Yes.
Grundy, what would you like to do?
Um, kind of jolt out of bed. Take a really quick swig of the little thing of water I probably have inside there. And stare at where where I had been, and then just kind of open my door like.
Just hear. No,
You hear
get
Sinister
off
screaming.
me."
I'm gonna quick you head down. As you're like at the door still, I'll check in with Zia and see what Zia's up to in that same, just to get everyone at the same moment.
Yeah, so Zia would hear Breelith footfalls and be like, thank God. Okay. And then would immediately connect his bow and be like, we need to get a better vantage point. I think something's out there. And she would probably start to make her way to the upper deck.
Okay. I think Vic will join you. He'll definitely be vigilant enough to hear Sinister.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, wait, and just kind of go with y'all. Where are you leading?
Before,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Breelith. What you got?
I was gonna say before Breelith went, like after she would check Liazana's room,
Mhm.
she probably definitely would have went back to her room and grabbed her bag that has the book in it, and just taken it with her.
Okay, awesome. You stop in, you kind of hear what everyone's planning. You just jot in quick and grab the book.
Yeah.
And Grundy, are you sort of like collectively going with everyone?
Well, because my room is directly across from Sinister, so I'm just gonna bolt straight across,
Okay.
see what all that yelling's about.
The door bursts open,
They're coming to
Sinister.
get me.
A hulking form
Kind of like
appears.
They're coming to get me. Save me, ghosts.
It is Grundy, thank goodness.
Oh, Grundy, there's ghosts. They're everywhere.
Oh, that's okay. No, okay, nothing is a swamp here. Okay,
What?
yeah, no.
This
my room
is
was
silk.
My room was a swamp, and we need to get together with everybody. Get your stuff on. I'm gonna do the same.
Nice. You get your stuff. You hear Zia saying, "We need a better vantage point," and Vic saying, "Lead the way." And you're all sort of coming out in the hallway now as Zia's leading. Zia, where would you, like to lead everyone?
You have Rhodey. He's fanning me. You just see a little fan just going.
Nice. Yeah, where would you like to lead, Zia?
He would just be like, you know, I'm assuming everybody had the same experience that I just did. There's something out there.
What do you mean? I mean, I
There's
had
something-
a dream, but I didn't see anything.
The storms always bring something. If you notice, they bring winged devils out of the sky. They bring hallucinations. They bring us almost to the brink of extinction. In this ship, storms are evil.
This is the third
And-
time that we've seen something. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just adding thunder and lightning. Go ahead, please.
This is the third time we've seen something in the clouds, or that something like this has happened. Honestly, I wish Liazana were here. I don't know if anybody else has more long-range weapons available.
I can do it. Any crossbow.
Might get a little hairy.
That's all right.
Okay. And where are you leading them?
Literally just up to the top deck so we can
Deck.
see in a 180.
Hey, you all pile out onto the top deck, like heads on the swivel, looking around. The storm rages, but the storm feels it's up above. But around you, instead of clouds, as you've encountered in the past, it is a heavy mist and fog.
Oh,
And as lightning cracks, you all see what looks just like mist in one moment as the lightning illuminates it and lights refracted around and brightens it up. The very clear image for a moment, just while the lightning's flashing, of a ship about 4.5 times the size of yours that looks like it sank at the bottom of some terrible ocean ages ago and has a ton of wispy ghosts and undead creatures manning it, walking around performing their duties in death as they did in life. The motherfucking ghost ship is
Charles tried to tell us.
crossing paths in an opposite direction from you.
We're
This
gonna
is
need
the
the bigger
ghost ship.
boat.
Maybe we won't have to fight them.
This is the ghost ship that Charles is supposed to be investigating. I guess we just found it.
Wait, is Charles here, Dan?
He might be. You can message him if you'd like. If he's on the ship.
Yeah. I think I would message him on our network so everyone can hear.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, so you know that ghost ship?
What's it? I guess, yeah, I remember yeah, I haven't found anything yet, but I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. Why?
You know, I think it found us.
Wait! And floating up through the the upper deck up into this level, Charles and Charlie running around. But, where I don't. It's like it's not illuminated currently because the lightning stopped. So for a moment, where is it? Before the lightning flashes again, and then oh, that. And again, you see like through the windows of the ship too, like undead walking about inside. Everyone again performing their duties in death as they did in life. You see a couple of like 3 different individuals in charge, likely up near the top of the ship, upper deck near the front, peering down at the group of you as their ship passes in the opposite direction. And Charles, yes.
Freelance is waving.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Breelith is fascinated, honestly.
Sinister is like 1 second away from Bamf.
Grundy's scratching his head like, I've seen stranger things. But
You see Charles'
take the cake.
face, you know, I mean, as if a ghost could get paler, drops a shade. I think,
Do you know them, Charles?
I feel like I know them. Ships? Seems familiar? I can't remember.
Should we talk to them?
Currently, you don't see the ship, and you're waiting for some lightning. As you say, I'm sorry, go ahead, though.
I should just ask if we should talk. Should we talk to them? To Charles, who said that he.
I don't know. I don't know if they're safe or not. They didn't say hi, so maybe I don't know them. He's just waiting to see if lightning cracks again.
So Zia would pull out her sun sword
Okay.
and attempt to extend it as far as the light would reach.
Okay. The
And
light.
illuminate it.
Nice. The ship is crossing like 10 feet away from your ship. It's like disturbingly close. But it's the very tail end. It illuminates just the bottom of the boat there in a small portion because the ship's so big. But at the very bottom of the hull there, it seems to be passing by. Way into the.
While they, I guess. Okay, so like after we could see them again, they were already past us, right?
You could see the hull of the ship, thanks to Zia's sun sword, as they're still next to you, but moving away.
Should I cast Fairy Fire on it so we can keep eyes on it, or you guys just feel like letting it pass?
Charles, what do you want to do?
Oh, I mean, if I know them, Thing is, I don't know. I feel like the ship looks familiar, but I don't want to say, let's go see them, and then I'm wrong.
Right. Oh God. No. Oh, I'm not very conflicted. I say let the ghost ship pass.
Do these
I don't
ships
know.
have a habit of have do they actually have their names and ways on the side? Or is that more of a modern ship thing?
Oh, like their name. You didn't catch one with a flash of light that popped up. I mean, if it happens again, or if it circles around, you're welcome to like make a check. But as it stood, as it wasn't
Dan, I
brought up.
have superior dark vision. Do I see anything?
Ah, probably as the ship continues on, there'll be at least one more flash of lightning where you can see the back of the ship.
Mm. Do I detect any name?
Nothing aboard the back of the ship.
This ship is a pirated ghost pirate ship.
There's a ton of build-up too. There potentially could be something, but it's so much. There's barnacles and all sorts of other. Even though there's no ocean here, there's all sorts of stuff like that caked onto the ship. So nothing that you see that would be legible.
I don't have anything to help here. Sorry.
The only thing I can do is cast fairy
Finish here.
fires.
Finish here. You have the sending stone to talk with the pirates.
Funny thing about that, right? Remember when we were on the island and we was at the school? I kind of dug a hole to get rid of it because they were like doing magical sweeps, and I forgot about it.
Wait, and like Dia's like completely pulled out of the experience for a second. Okay, so wait, you're telling me that the pirates that we're in debt to, that we're supposed to always respond to, that we don't have a way to respond to them anymore?
Well, if they want their stupid rock, they're gonna have to go back to the UAF to get it.
Maybe would Allie know anything? Do you think?
That's probably like potential.
Because she's on the she's on the network, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Relip will try to reach out, including the group with Allie.
Okay.
This isn't like a sending. No, it's not. Okay, it's just like a regular talk. Allie, it's Relip, and the rest of the group.
Hey, what can I do for you, Brianna?
I'm so sorry. Do you know anything about a pirate ghost ship on the water? Where are we? We were heading towards Atmos. We're about a day out. It's just a huge ship, not marked, with a bunch of skeletons on it. We had a bunch of bad dreams before we saw it. Does that match up with anything that you know about?
Breathe. You're waking me up for bad dreams and a ghost story.
No, we're all looking at it. Everyone's guys. Could you back me up?
Yeah, we have seen it.
Can confirm.
Oh, super scary.
Selling away right now.
Yeah.
Skeletons, undead walking.
No, I can look into it for you. I guess don't chase after it. Yeah, you don't want to join them. So, I don't know anything, but be safe, please. And maybe if it, I'll look into it for you. I don't want you all chasing it, though.
Sorry, Ellie.
It's all right. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah. She's a little disoriented. It's definitely just well. Right, just be careful of ghosts. And, don't let them go into the kitchen and make you A sandwich. She kind
No
of goes back
sandwiches.
out. Yeah.
Sandwich.
Falls back asleep.
Ghost sandwiches.
Charles, I do think that we should probably do more research before we probably go chasing after a ghost ship, as interesting as that sounds to me. She said that
Well,
to Charles. She said that to Charles, specifically. Dan.
Sorry, I'm fixing the
Oh,
things.
right.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
they
Sorry.
did. Back in Atmos Isles, there was supposed to be some boat races, and there was rumors of a ghost ship. Charles was supposed to go find it. Then I got arrested, and then all kinds of other things happened along the way, and I kind of forgot about the ghost ship. And now we ran into it. I think it was like, oh man,
And now we're here.
Do we
I
have
can't
a,
remember.
can I mark on a map that we have, like where we saw it and which way it was sailing?
You have that magnificent captain's quarters with the tracking globe and everything. If you want to mark it on that.
Sure. Brilith will go and mark it on that map.
Okay. You
Oh,
summon
that's
that
mighty
in.
smart.
Big half globe hanging out of the floor
Yeah.
that you can spin around and you see your location and you've
Well, she's
learned
not
what
going
to
to be
do.
too fancy with it, but
Okay. How's this thing work? It's a triple tap. Breeless,
Nope.
yeah.
No, you press that. Nope. No.
It shuts down. Ah.
Volume down an hour. Gosh.
Nice. Okay, you change the input. It's input 3. Let's. All right. So you mark that on the map, Breelith. What do y'all want to do? Middle of the night. You've only got half your rest.
I think I'm going to try to go back to sleep.
I don't need any more rest. I can stay up.
Gonna go back down to my quarters, stare suspiciously at my bed, look at myself once in the mirror, just kind of. I don't ever want to see that again. And kind of lay back down, half asleep.
As a slight little leftover from the ghost ship, you turn away from your mirror, but your reflection stays in place for a minute. You look back,
Oh,
and it's back to
Nope.
mimicking you like normal.
I'm not going back to sleep for the next 3 weeks.
Like, nope.
Nope.
Yeah, how about you?
I will note that Zio passing the captain's quarters is just going to say, "Hey, Breelith,
Yeah.
you have the book, right?"
That's right here in my bag.
Okay. Okay. And she'll walk off back to bed. Don't stay up too late, Breelith.
Yeah. Was Carmine? Well, I don't remember if we put Carmine in his own room. I think we
Yes,
did, Dan,
I
didn't
think
we?
you cleared everything out and made a different room for Carmine, as well as clearing out the blanket room.
Leela's going to go into Carmine's room and just kind of like, not really like necessarily cuddle up with him, but just kind of like make like a bed in the corner with some blankets and a pillow.
Right? Carmine will lift their head and rustled awake with the noise. Breelith, is everything all right? Oh, bless you.
I just don't want to
Excuse
sleep
me.
alone in my room for right now.
Well, you're welcome here.
Thank you. And she'll try to sleep.
Okay. Carmine will come over and lay next to you to, keep you company.
Oh.
Yeah. Their weight being significantly more than in the past. It's
Sure.
but it's like that
Yeah.
nice weighted blanket feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're laying on you, but next to you. Yeah. They're probably heavy enough to crush you now. So. Okay. So for everyone that is sleeping, you're able to finish your sleep. And the rest of your journey to Atmos Isles, there's no repeats, no other storms. It's a little cloudy here and there, and you're like, oh man, please no storm tonight. But there's no storms. Uh, finally, a welcome sight. Atmos Isles, this beautiful island where you've spent a fair bit of time now. You've made connections. I think you've met at least one or
Quite a
two.
bit of people from the ship here.
Yeah, yeah. And you dock in your primo spot thanks to Sunray and Sons.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, you finally dock, and Titania's, eager. You can see her eagerness to like get some answers about Agracus, and she's like already packed and kind of ready to go on the upper deck as things are still docking and being fastened off. And she'll just kind of.
Sinister will stay in his room because he says, like,
Oh,
he's got the feeling that if he sees her go, that it's gonna be too much for him to
Okay.
handle. He can't handle it.
I'll take an extra moment to look for you, but probably knows you well enough to. Um, Thank you all again. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll get answers and it'll be quick. But I'm gonna head. I'll be over at in the religious ward, seeking answers. Oh, and I'd like before you leave, really like to join you for that meal. Um, it was quite delightful last time, and it was sort of an important moment for me. I think it's the first step I took away from following my life as I had and my mother as I had before. Um, but I'm going to be there for now, and I'll keep you updated.
Is she going to try to find you here? Continue.
Quite possibly. I don't know at what level of ire and anger she's at currently after ditching my ship and those assigned to watch me. She doesn't know, of course, yet about the book, but I'm considering currently how I want to handle that. I think head on. I don't want to be running from that, but Agracus comes first. And I can handle myself, and if I get into too much trouble, I will certainly ask for your help. But seek me out if you need me in the religious ward for now.
Okay.
She'll kind of go up, to each person and be like, look, see if they're okay for a hug. They'll go to Breelith first.
We will definitely have her.
Okay. That's when she'll kind of like look around for Sinister, but understand, and go up to Grundy and like, hey, I'm not always a hugger, but certainly we've been through quite a bit already. She'll hold her arms out like, hug. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, very strong, quite strong. Yes. Um, and head over to Zia and just sort of hold her hands out, Zia, if you're there.
yeah.
And
And Zia would pull out the dagger that Sinister gave to her
oh,
and would basically just be like, once someone who, we had our disagreements with gave this to me in hopes that we would build a better friendship and relationship with each other. And I know that I've made some mistakes, and I hope that, giving you this hopefully will help showcase I'm willing to change, willing to be better.
thank you, Sia. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of soul searching myself, and I can only hope to be half as wise as you.
And at that, Zia will kind of start crying and just go for a full hug at that point.
Oh man. Oh sister.
Well, they don't know.
Oh well, she calls you sister. Oh
Okay,
sister.
well, that does
Oh
not. Yeah, I guess it feels weird to her. Like it
Mm.
feels like right, but she
yeah.
can't really put her finger on it.
Can you make a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage, please?
Oh hell yeah, I can. That's a 6.
Nice. Uh, you enter a bit of a a fugue state, sort of an autopilot state, where you're like, and so Titania's like, yes, well, I'll be off, and you're just sort of like, and Titania heads into the city. And for Grundy and Breelith, go make a perception check. Grundy and Breelith, as you're here, and you're just sort of watching Zia, like, still nodding in reply to, like, stuck in kind of a autopilot loop of nodding. Breelith, what'd you get?
Natural 20 for 24 total.
Okay. 13's the DC. What'd you get? What'd you get, Grundy?
I got a 15.
Okay. And you both see Zia sort of stunned. And as you see her kind of nodding, Zia, can I please have you roll 3d8?
Dan, I was gonna go and if Titania clears the ship, Misty step over to her and just give her a kiss, and then
Oh,
dimension door back.
nice,
To my
nice.
room.
Oh, oh, she like seems to be extra like, ooh, little thing from Sinister on the way out. Nice. Awesome. And poof, you're back in the
Right. None of y'all saw that.
Z, what'd you get?
9.
Oh, okay, now that's 9 points of psychic damage that you take. And let's see. Let me ask first what Breelith and Grundy want to do, noticing this.
I
Just,
would probably actually walk over because it's just how Grundy is. Always monitoring his compatriots. So would have noticed that.
doesn't focus on you or anything fast, but it's like you're not
Um,
there.
Kind of like I just one hand lightly on the shoulder. Are you okay?
She put a hand on her shoulder. Are you okay? She tips and collapses onto the floor. Still,
Ooh.
like, apparently conscious, eyes open, but just stuck and stuck. And Zia, well, let me ask Breelith what you're doing in this moment. It's just a quick, like, a reaction to that for now,
Oh.
if anything.
If Grundy is there, she probably would take a step forward just out of a reaction, but like wouldn't probably stop seeing that Grundy is right there beside her.
Okay. All right. So she's fallen on the ground, in front of Grundy, and you take a step, like,
Yeah.
check. So yeah, inside your head, you are going down. It's like a fever dream, where it's incredibly frustrating that you're just going through this like cyclical loop again and again, and the images that you're seeing and experiencing are parts of the memories as this crack in this dam is let loose its first proper leak, and it's not far behind from entirely crashing, and you're seeing bits and pieces of the fight, but more so than like just the action of stabbing. You see yourself stabbing at at Titania, and your mind isn't processing there's a shield. You're just feeling yourself like like whatever feelings you had. Them, I don't want to say anger because I know it wasn't necessarily that, but all the intense feelings of you can't take this. You've got the book and you cannot do this, and like give me that, and are flashing in your head, and you're feeling all the feelings of like remorse from that and everything as well. And then it flashes to like a tearful Titania calling you, you know, having regained her memories and looking at you, her sister. You remember that moment of connecting, of you recalling your sisters. You don't remember everything, but that sister piece. And it's cycling again and again. You racing up the wall and trying to stab, and you watching Igracus wisp away. into nothingness as he's got a spell up to shield that build a shield titanium. And again, you watch it again and you live it as though it's fresh and new again and again and drifting further and further down into. And that's where we'll end tonight's session. Sorry. Excuse me. Oh.
Getting that checked up.
Yeah.
Oh my
See
goodness.
ya. Well, that's fun.
Yeah. Good job, Dan. Great job tonight.
Great job.
Yeah.
Oh my
shucks.
god.
Yeah.
Did you have fun with the ghost stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You scared the crap out of us. I'm like, already. This is going into Halloween. We're about to die.
Yeah, you literally,
Yeah.
you literally just picked on the one thing I actually fear,
No, no.
besides clowns. But I don't like
Yeah.
being a dead reflection.
Oh, really?
So it was like perfect.
That's
I'm
awesome.
really, really sorry, Chris. The next episode is all about clowns, so.
Yeah, oops.
Surprise.
There's only one
Spoiler.
person that can heal Zia. It's the clown college and the
Yeah.
academic ward.
And everybody else has, like, stuff going on, so you're the only one who can go.
Great. We're going to the Juggalo University. Wonderful.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what the band
This is a
plays.
final note, by the way. I would have caught Zia.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay, you try and
Yeah,
catch
I
her
wouldn't.
this
I
evening.
wouldn't just let it like.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
I honestly think it would be really funny if, like, 3 people went for it and it was too late, and, like,
Thunk.
and everybody just kind of stepped back. Vic walks in, he's just like,
What happened?
What was that? Yeah.
Come would you be mad?
Amazing. I effing love it. Well, I'm glad. I've been excited about that ghost action for a while, and this was finally the moment when you were going to encounter. Things were lining up in the background to encounter. First encounter. As I with the ghost ship.
or is it the
Love it.
first encounter? Longtime viewers will know from
Right.
episode
They
5,
would.
minute 18.
Yep.
This was seeded.
Ghost ship's been around for a hot minute per different rumors as to from whence it came, what its true origins are.
I believe we got the first thread. Cassius was still with us, and I had went shopping for Rob Danger drip.
Nice. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Rock God. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so exciting. Okay, sorry. I'm so hyped now. I will bring up our schedule. We've got a lot of D&D, but first, let me just take a minute and say, awesome job, players. Most
Thank
certainly.
you.
Yes. Hi, two, please. Round of applause. You've been watching An Extremis, our Sky Pirate campaign every Saturday night, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. Then I'll jump into our schedule here. Got a lot of D&D across the week. That's pulling the schedule, but we've got a Tuesday and Friday campaign coming up soon. Tuesday campaign's like a month and a half away. Friday campaign's
Yeah.
the beginning of the year. Yep. And on Thursdays, this is the old schedule, so it's not showing it. I keeps doing this, but Thursday, 4 to 7 Eastern, you can catch Christy and Steph with Paint by Minis. Christy is this incredible mini painter, and she shares all her insights and stuff with Steph, and they make beautiful works. Please check out Christy's Twitch or Twitter and all the stuff. Amazing. I don't know if anyone can toss that in chat. Yeah, and catch us. Consider giving us a follow if you had fun. You can be alerted when we go live with our stuff. But for now, we're going to go ahead and raid our friends over at Blackwater D&D. Please consider giving a Caw Mad Bird raid for some hype and support and branding. And we're going to go do our Patreon exclusive after show. I don't know, Steph, if you can link or if anyone can. But if you're like, oh, this is neat, let's support you. You can support us best there. But we just love having you here. Zero pressure, because we just love you being here watching and hanging out with us. So thank you for all the new folks. Thank you so much again for the very kind comments, Rock God. Thank you, Daniel Lance, for the sub. And for the gift subs, Chris and Steph, thank you so much. And the Raid Grumpy Dungeon Masters. And all of the fantastic stuff. Let's go visit our friends here at Blackwater. We will catch you all soon. Here, everyone.
Bye.